I now call the April 14th, 2026 City Council meeting, council work session to order. 6:03. 6:03. Oh, yeah, that one's a little, yeah. 6:03 p.m. We're going to go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and that'll be with Councilman Larson, which is why we were waiting.
Oh, yes.
So can you all please rise, and then I will give the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we're so grateful to live in this community and to rub shoulders with these good people that are here. We're grateful for the things that they do to serve their fellow men and how dedicated they are to the missions that each of them carry out on a daily basis. We're so grateful for the service of our first responders and our city staff and the many capacities that they serve, and ask that it please protect them as they serve, help them to be able to know what will best help build better relationships and help build a stronger community. We're so grateful for the opportunities that we have been given in this country, and ask that it please bless us to be grateful for them, and ask that it please bless that we can have the moisture that will be necessary for our community to not be in drought conditions and to be able to reach our goals that we have in this coming year. We ask for these things and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Ms. Harris, could you please give us a roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilmember Eric Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Rebecca Brothers.
Here.
Councilmember Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilmember Carla Borders.
Here.
Councilmember Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilmember Karen Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Tim Hancock.
I am here. I declare we have a quorum. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
We have Councilwoman. It was you? Oh, it's all good. Motion from Councilwoman Brothers, second by Councilwoman Borders. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I guess if we could start with your report, Ms. Harris, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, thank you. Historically, as part of our annual budget process, the City Council allocates a specific amount of funds dedicated to supporting local programs and organizations that provide services benefiting Riverton residents. These organizations operate independently, and they're not part of our formal municipal structure. For the fiscal year 2025-26 year, the City Council approved $240,000 in community service funding distributed amongst 8 organizations. On February 20th of 2026, staff initiated public outreach to announce the application period for the fiscal year 26-27 community service funding. The application window remained open through March 31st, allowing all interested organizations to submit requests for consideration prior to the development of the upcoming budget. A total of 9 organizations submitted applications requesting $549,429 in combined funding. This work session provides the opportunity for the City Council to review the submitted funding requests, hear brief presentations from applicants, and ask questions to support future funding decisions. Information gathered during the meeting this evening will assist the staff in preparing the proposed funding distribution for council consideration during the budget process. And with that, I would just open the floor, Mayor, for you to direct the meeting as you desire.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I guess what I would say first off is this has been a long standing tradition, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. As long as I've been on the council, as long as I've been mayor, we have had we've had contracts for services, and it's been, I don't know if I want to call it competitive, but it's been something where we've had folks come in and present. The general process tends to be they'll come in and present on this week, and then at a future meeting, we'll get together and cuss and discuss after we've usually filled out our own forms in terms of what we are thinking of where the funding will go. There's two things that are different this year that I just want to make people aware of. Three things, actually. Number one, there's a really cute baby in the back, so that's one of them. The second thing is funding this year has traditionally been something where the state of Wyoming has provided what we've usually called direct distribution to the cities using a model that's been around longer than I've been around. That has been to make up for things like over-the-cap mineral royalties, the lack of groceries being taxed and sales tax, that kind of thing. So that was meant to be something that was kind of a stopgap measure. And every year it's been a situation where we've had to go to the legislature, hat in hand, and say, please give us the money that you've given us every other year and this amount. What makes this year unique is that has changed. The state has now modified the percentage of sales tax that are collected in our community so that rather than having us have to go to them and ask for additional funds as we have in the past, it's automatic. It's not an every year, let's decide, and cities have to come and speak. It's there and it's available. That's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The good thing is we don't have to go hat in hand and say, please give us direct distribution. The bad thing is years that we have high sales tax collections, that's great. We might even have more than we have had in the past. But years that sales tax collection might be lower, we might have less than we've had in the past. So I'm just telling you that because that's a new process that we're going through that is going to really color a lot of the discussion here. So just wanted to make sure people are aware of that. So as we go forward, I guess I would ask first, I've already had our rec that is asked to go first because of the said baby. And I'd said, that's fine, we could have our recreation go first. I can justify that because Mary Axthelm's name starts with an A, and we could just say, well, we'll do it that way. That would probably still mean we'd have to have Grace Andrus go first. So is there anyone else who has anything urgent that's going on tonight that would suggest that they'd need to get out of here quickly, that would like us to prioritize their presentations for any reason? Okay. So then we'll start with our rec, and then we'll just go from there to Eagles Hope, Juvenile Justice, Mercy House, Chamber of Commerce, Volunteer Fire Department. Well, we should probably make you guys go first, because last time you got called out midway, didn't you? Let's do the fire department after our rec, just in case. And then from there, Pause for Life, and then Willow Creek Elementary School. So if we could go in that order, we'll do that. I'd ask each of you to keep your presentations to about 2 to 5 minutes. We have all of your written materials that have already been sent out. This is really just an opportunity for us to be able to ask questions and to be able to get a better feel for what you have going on. So if we could start with our rec, and then we'll go from there to the Riverton Volunteer Fire Department, and then from there we'll just go down to Eagles Hope.
Benson's first city council meeting.
Yes,
And of
thank
cour-
you guys
Yeah.
for the accommodations.
Yes, we appreciate that very much. Thank you, Eagles Hope, and for letting us hop in front of you guys. We're grateful. So thank you, City Council, for your support last year. It was some creative financing, and we loved it and appreciated it, and it was much needed to have that extra funding from the District 25 Rec Board. It was a wonderful blessing. Included in your packet, you have our contract for services request. You also have our fiscal FY27 budget that we give to the CWC business office for them to load into whatever they loaded in and manage what they do. The letter that I sent this year is a little bit different. I took you through kind of a 30-year journey from when I first moved here because recreation looked very different then than it does now. And I'm pleased that we're the partner to have done that. When I moved here 30 years ago as a young professional in the recreation field, I was stunned after coming from 2 different parks and recreation departments to learn that Riverton did not have a parks and recreation department, just a parks department. So the whole outline of our presentation kind of came about from a conversation I was having with my brother-in-law, the Honorable Judge Wes Roberts, and he said something that triggered all of this. He said, wasn't the MOU in 2008 a temporary solution to a municipal gap in services? And that's exactly what it was. It was a temporary substitute, and it was amazing. So for 18 years, your guys' support has helped us build something that did not exist. And that's really an honor for us to be a part of that. And that long-term investment shapes the quality of life in our community to a significant degree. And what began as a small effort in 2008 became a comprehensive recreation program that we run right now, serving thousands of people every year. Through our youth and adult sports, our enrichment programs, various community events, and our wellness initiatives. And let her look up, baby.
The participants we've seen in the last year have been as young as 18 months old and as old as 81 years. With that being said, some programs that we are proud of that we brought this year that are new to our programming this year alone is Adult Summer Volleyball, Splash Mob, Wild Game Processing, Sourdough 101, Dads and Their Princesses, Jingle Bell Bus Ride, Candle Workshop, Viking Weave, a Self-Care Summit, Junior Wolverine Basketball League, a Youth Softball Clinic, a Mini Mover Gym Time, and then more that we are looking forward to adding to the rest of this year, this coming summer, is 2 different youth volleyball and basketball camps, a CPR certification for teens, beginning band boot camp, and a women self-defense seminar. So with all of our growth, we are constantly trying to add new programming as well.
Yes, so thank you for all that we were able to add at this last year. It was really exciting. So over the years, we've continued to expand, and part of that letter I showed you that in 2013, there was an Encana grant ran through the Gear Up program at Central Wyoming College for $80,000 that ran the Summer Academy program. And Encana ceased that funding in 2013. And so we picked it up at $36,000 is what we budget. It's amazing when you cut out snacks and T-shirts how much money you actually save. So we're very proud to run that program, but we did add it with no additional funding increases. And then in 2021, following COVID, CWC eliminated their community education coordinator position, who worked with me to build the whole robust thing. So they eliminated that. We absorbed it again with no additional funding. And we've been able to broaden our access still yet through all of that by maximizing more limited resources. Recreation should not be extra. It's an essential service to our community that supports youth development, family stability, public health, and community engagement. It's one of the most direct ways that you invest in Riverton. And I was thinking about every negative thing that's said about Riverton, every negative statistic that's associated with Riverton. Our recreation is a direct protective factor against that. And we're happy to it's just an honor to be able to do that. Over the last year, our community has made it clear through a variety of ways. Through participation in our programs, everything went up this year. It was amazing. Feedback to us and public response to you about how these programs matter deeply and that they're very valued by our community. We've reached a point where continuing to grow and even just sustain the level of service requires renewed investments and renewed funding. We've stretched our resources as far as possible between the two of us and the funding that we receive, and we never say no. In fact, we got 2 requests today that I said yes to both of them. Cindy? Yes. So we are always growing, and we're extremely, extremely grateful for the last 18 years of partnership, and with your continued support, we would like to ensure that recreation remain accessible to all people, impactful, and a cornerstone of our community. And with that, we would take any questions that you'd like to ask about what our packet or anything we've said.
Any questions?
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Mary, thank you for coming today. Truly, it's amazing that what you're able to do, and listening to you and hearing how things have been cut. It's very sad because your services are needed here in Riverton, and thank you. What's the baby's name?
Benson.
Benson. Beautiful and good job. I want to know, first of all, I want to make sure that you can connect with the Youth Council. that the city has. Aurora Baldas does our Instagram, and it would be awesome if, like, maybe she could promote our rec on our Instagram. I think that would be very cool. And then I have a question. Is the CPR class that you're doing for the youth, do they pay for that? Is it free? You know, how are you promoting that? Because that's very cool, since we have so many kids that work there as the lifeguards at the, at the pool.
Right. That was feedback we got last year. We had a CPR class, but it did not contain a certification. And that's what people were looking for. So this year, our instructor revamped it and did add the CPR AAD certification and first aid. So it's a multiple certifications in one. And there is a fee, and we contract with Life Essentials LLC. So she charges her rate.
Okay, cool.
Pass that on to.
That is awesome that you guys are doing that.
But we would love for the youth council to promote that amongst their peers.
I love that. And I love that you guys, we only have 10,000 people in Riverton, and really you're reaching half of Riverton is what you're reaching. So that's phenomenal. And you only have like 2 forms of funding, right? Us, and then, you go to rec.
The District 25 Rec Board,
Yeah,
but
and
it's
that's it.
funding you'll see in our budget. It goes in and out.
But that's it. That's all you have. So really, this is it. So
Yeah, and then you'll see our program fees line. That's our goal every year, to make that much money in our program fees to help offset some of those costs.
thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Any other questions? This had previously been more of a CWC program. CWC involvement, though, has been basically just housing. That's been it right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have a percentage. It's like 47% of your budget is what they attribute to grants as their cost of what they do, because they not only rent utilities, we have IT support, budget oversight, all of our hiring goes through HR. So we utilize all of their departments, and I actually feel a little bit guilty when we're hiring our summer staff, and I take a stack of hiring authorizations to the HR department, and now they have to hire them, and then they go to IT, and they have to do the IT trainings. And so they treat us exactly as if we were a line item in their budget. We follow their policies, their procedures, their trainings.
That's good to know. So when you're hiring folks, you're going through their HR and everything. You've got that IT, all of that's covered with them.
Correct.
What else in terms of how you're able to function?
All tech, phones.
Yeah, phones, computers, copiers, all the office supplies and daily business activity.
So they treat you as quasi-employees
Oh,
without paying you anything.
correct. Yes, and they treat us. We have to go to all the trainings, all the budget meetings, all of the things where sometimes we're like, yes, graduation matters, but not to us that much. So we go to them, the in-services, all of it. Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes, and we want to make sure that we are also assisting CWC with, for example, one year they needed help with their concussion testing for was that what it was?
Yeah.
For their athletes, and they didn't have enough people to do it. So Addie and I volunteered to do it. We try to make sure CWC sees the value in what we do as well, because they could boot us if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So they hit you over the head to see if you got a concussion? What?
No, we had to do a baseline concussion test for all the athletes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we
I'm
just,
glad CWC isn't hitting you.
no, they're not. Not yet.
We've got classes going on pretty regularly.
Regularly.
What do your days look like in terms of, you get done with your day, you go home tonight. What's tomorrow look like for the both of you?
Yeah, well, maternity leave, whole different situation for her. We are working on our summer brochure. Our summer brochure actually is in Addie's hands. It's being edited, so I'm working on getting all the online registration up and running while we still have programs. We have a Medicaid program that was on Monday nights, a hunter safety class on Monday nights. We have a couple of programs coming up that a mom and me,
Community garage sale.
community garage sales.
Medicare.
Medicaid and Medicare, Spa Day. We have a lot of, so we're managing the programs that we're running, being at those events in the evenings, weekends, and then the expectation is to have an 8 to 5 office open as well, because if a community member comes up at noon, we need to be there to accept their registration.
Okay,
It's a bad look if you're not.
right?
The day-to-day kind of changes depending on the season we're in. Like she said, right now it's a lot of getting the summer ready as well as upcoming events. But yeah, and then in June it's Summer Academy and we're not doing as much office work. It just kind of bounces around.
Gotcha. Anything else? Okay. In the interest of trying to make sure we can move along,
Yes.
I could just sit here and chat all day, but these are,
Watch her, baby.
and some of these are things that I already know. I'm just asking for the purpose of our audience members.
Yes, and you guys have my contact information. If any questions come up in the discussions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Will do.
Okay.
All right,
We
thank you.
appreciate Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, RVFD.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, my name is Jesse Cassidy. I'm the Fire Chief for the Riverton Volunteer Fire Department. This is Eric Nowland. He is the Assistant Fire Chief for the Riverton Volunteer Fire Department. First off, I'd like to say thank you for your continued support in years past and your consideration this year. The Fire Department is requesting the same amount that we've requested for many years now. We're requesting $5,000 in funding. That funding will be split across 3 accounts, all used for the direct benefit of our volunteer firemen. $2,000 will be placed into our benevolent fund. This account is used to directly benefit Riverton firemen, past firemen, and retired firemen. For example, in the case of medical emergency, we can assist them with bills and other expenses. $2,000 will be placed into our profit reserve account. This account is used to complete projects that better the fire department for all its members and for the community. An example of this is we had a custom trailer-mounted grill built several years ago that we used for our events and pull around other events, including National Night Out and several others. And lastly, $1,000 will be placed into our mutual aid account. The mutual aid is a statewide program that pays a death benefit to members beneficiary in the event of their passing to help with funeral costs and other expenses. And we cover that cost for all of our members, and that $1,000 goes into that fund to help provide funding for that. Lastly, real quick, I'd just like to end with some statistics since I don't get to talk to you guys very often. Last year, we ended the year with 351 alarms and calls for service. For direct comparison, Lander Fire responded to 240 alarms. We're a very busy fire department, and actually Lander was markedly up from the year prior of 160 alarms. So we are extremely busy, and it looks like we're going to continue to be busy this year. Our latest numbers are coming in. We've responded to 96 alarms so far this year, and last year during that same time period, we responded to 75 alarms. So we're already ahead of schedule. It looks like it's going to keep getting worse.
Thank you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, Your Honor, but I would just like to say thank you for what you guys do. You're valued and appreciated very much for what you do for the city of Riverton. And we
Well,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. We appreciate that. Our volunteers work very hard covering calls and as well as doing all of our light maintenance and the training that's involved in staying current. And these guys are exceptional at what they do. They work very hard and do a good job of making sure things get taken care of. I am term limited out and in my last term as fire chief for the city of Riverton, so this will be my last time addressing the council in that capacity, and hopefully, and we'll be passing it over to somebody who'll do another couple years of doing a great job. So
Assistant Chief Nowland has been willing to step up.
you bet.
Councilman Bailey?
Your Honor, how many volunteer members do you have?
So our roster is sitting around 37. We have about 40 active responders. Yep.
Very nice.
And I'm sure you always are needing more help.
Always. Yeah, we have a member cap at 60. So we're running at 60% of what we could have. Those numbers are actually up over the last 10 years or so from where we were sitting. And we're happy about that. Volunteer across the country is struggling to find enough members to get things done, and so around here we've been pretty lucky, and the guys that we have are very dedicated and work very hard to get things done, and that 40 number seems to be working really well for us, but we could always take more.
If you were to just briefly summarize anything that would restrict or make it so that someone couldn't volunteer, is there anything?
So there are requirements to volunteer. For membership on the fire department, you must be 19 years of age, and you have to have lived within the Riverton Fire District for 6 months. You have to have a valid driver's license and no felony convictions, essentially. Those are our requirements. Then they apply, they have to pass a background check, and then go through a voting process with the members of the fire department. And then if they make it through all of that, they have a 6-month probationary period in which they sit down with a review board every month. They respond to calls. They are completely geared. They come to everything, start their training, and at the end of the 6 months, they either receive their badge or don't.
And you haven't regretted Tyler Goff at all?
Not at all. He's one of our best.
I'm just curious, you know.
He's actually Tyler's serving as Fire 4 currently. He's up there a ways, so
Yep.
he'll continue to move up, I'm sure.
I'm glad he's here. All right, well, thank you very much for your report. Thank you for all your service, and let us know what we can do to support you going forward. But you're extremely appreciated, and I can't say enough how much it means to us that you're willing to serve. So keep up the good work.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, let's go to Eagles Hope then.
My name is Devin Anderson. I am the Director of Eagles Hope Transitions. I'd like to thank the council, Mr. Mayor, and all the staff for taking the time to consider funding us again this year. Last year was a very big year for us. We were able to complete construction on many projects. In fact, all our rooms are now fully functional and being used.
Well done. That is a big deal.
Yeah, thank you. When we began construction, we had 16 livable rooms. We are now up to 19. In addition to the 10 regular rooms, the 3 family rooms, and the 3 economy rooms, we have added 2 more family rooms, and we fixed an existing apartment. I'm proud to say that even though our capacity has increased, I managed to bring our utility costs down by a very substantial amount. I did this by replacing old heaters, installing LED lighting, and also our winter helped a lot. So the city has had a very meaningful impact on Eagles Hope and its residents over the years. Due to my history with Eagles Hope as being a prior resident and now working for Eagles Hope, I have a unique perspective. Hang on, I got lost. Okay. I have personally felt this impact on a level that I feel is unique. If it were not for the city's support over the years, we would not be able to do what we do. So with that in mind, in addition to funding this year, we've been toying around with the idea of sponsors. And if the city would like, I would like to list the city as a sponsor on our website, social media, you know, any ideas you come up with. But I would like to publicly acknowledge the city's help in our mission. My projected cost for utilities based on 2025 and more than likely rate increases and a harsher winter for 2026 is $32,000. Our building insurance policy is projected to be roughly $13,000. So I am humbly requesting $45,000 from the city to be used toward utilities and insurance costs. Some statistics. Last year, we housed a total of 62 people. 7 of them were families. Adult men was 19. Adult women was 27. And children, we had 16 of them. We had 45 transitions last year with a 64% success rate. So far this year, we've housed 31 people. We currently have 3 families staying there and 2 more on the way. 10 men, 16 women, and 7 children. So far this year, we've had 11 transitions with a 72% success rate. So I'm pretty proud of that. The services we offer is fully furnished rooms, 24 access to the kitchen, food pantry, laundry room, clothing pantry, financial and job readiness, case management. We have a church group on Tuesday nights, sober support and life skills group Monday nights. We have church-sponsored dinners once weekly and lunch once weekly. The residents have 24 support access to Shannon and I. They have our phone number, so they can get a hold of us anytime they need. All utilities are covered by Eagles Hope, along with their move-in necessities. We have been doing a few of our residents, we've been helping them with their taxes, maintenance, housekeeping, transportation services, referrals, 2-year wraparound services, move-out expense assistance, one-on-one meetings once monthly or as necessary. I've been having our residents, as part of a requirement of staying there, is they need to engage in 10 hours of community service a month. And then finally, encouragement and support with civic responsibilities. So I read an interesting study that people that participate in the voting process, jury duty, that kind of stuff, I forget the percentage, but they are a lot less likely to be out committing crimes or reoffending if they have a sense of, community. So I've been trying to work on that with folks too. Notable successes. Last year we housed an 80-year-old woman with dementia for 2.5 years. She'd been living in her car in Riverton prior to coming to us. During her time at Eagles Hope, we managed her finances until we could arrange ACH payments for her. We helped her obtain identification, medical insurance. She had some legal issues that she had to clear up, and we were able to get her into an assisted living facility. She has no family or friends, so Shannon and I still visit her regularly. We also helped a 60-year-old man who was having a very rough go living on the bike trail. He experienced homelessness and alcoholism years ago, and he's been staying on any couch he could find forever. After staying at Eagles Hope for 2 years, he was able to get all his documents, apply and start receiving his retirement benefits, and he even learned to pay his bills reliably. So he transitioned into a very stable home. And then currently we are working with a woman who was in a very abusive marriage for years. She came to us very broken and scared, and over the 2 years she's lived there, she's maintained her sobriety, made significant progress in living independently, and she also, any opportunity to give back, she likes to do that. We have also helped multiple families not just reunite, but prevent them from splitting up. So I have included a couple letters of support that you guys can read on your own, just in the interest of saving time. So thank you. Do you have any questions?
Questions?
No questions, just again, thank you. I think you're providing a real needed service for the community, and I like how you're asking them to give back as well, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I think you guys are doing a wonderful job, so thank you.
It means a lot. Thank you.
Questions? Good relationship with CAST still. Have a couple of clients. It's all going to be about the Goffs today. Every single person is going to be asked a question that has to do with either Tyler or Sage. I'm joking, but I know we've had some CAST clients that have been staying there. That's an ongoing thing. Appreciate what you're doing there. That makes a huge difference for them.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Had a couple of graduates lately, so that's good. For people that don't know, CAST is the Court-Assisted Supervised Treatment. It's a program that is run by the county, funded in part by county funds, state funding, state requirements. It's a big ask, and I know that they've had a good relationship with you over the years, and people that have been willing to go stay at Eagles Hope, and it's just been a perfect combination. So,
It's nice that there's accountability all around, so.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
sounds good. And then I guess last question was, I see opioid settlement funding, you had listed as another source of funding, $12,000. Tell me about that real quick.
Oh, so the opioid work group, the Fremont County Opioid Work Group, we applied for $12,000 to cover the rent expenses on 2 rooms. So yeah, we got approved for 1 family room and 1 just regular size room.
And the idea behind that is this is going to be people that have only people that have been impacted by the opioid crisis.
Yes, yes.
Great.
They have to be, they have to have some sort of substance evaluation or doctors stating they have opioid issues.
Fentanyl, heroin,
Yeah.
opioids of any kind. Okay.
Yeah. So what that does is, I don't believe in people having their rent paid for them and living rent-free, but what it does is it guarantees that those that can't pay don't lose their housing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that was pretty exciting.
And that's a one-time thing. So you're going to have to go back depending, or is it saying that's going to be yearly?
I think we can reapply for the next, after this one, 2 more years we can reapply, but we do have to reapply.
Okay, good deal.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
on the same note as the ARPA, or the
Opioid.
opioid settlement, the ARPA funding, when are those going to sunset? 27?
The end of this year is.
End of this year.
Is the end of the ARPA
So
money.
27, okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Okay. All right, fine. You can come up, Sage and Eddie. Should we make you bring up Tyler, too? Is he kind of an honorary juvenile justice of Fremont County?
No, he's going to critique me on the way home, so it's fine.
Be nice to her, Tyler.
Mayor, councilmen, and women, my name is Sage. I am the Director of Juvenile Justice here in Fremont County. Hattie Calvert is the Assistant Director. And I apologize as I am new to this role. And as Mayor has stated, I've been a part of CAST for a long time, so I am learning a lot more of the juvenile justice. I do know it was established in 1994. The focus has always been promoting accountability, positive community engagement with our youth. And over time, the program has developed. We offer MRT, which is a moral recognition therapy for a lot of our high-risk juveniles. Since coming into this position and in conversations with Hattie, we have decided that we are seeing a lot more high-risk activity than we have in the past. We are implementing a risk needs assessment, going to work on case plans so that we can easily identify what those high-risk needs are for our juveniles and how we can incorporate the family support in that. Just this week, we also got in a new curriculum that is going to help in supporting those high-risk, high needs so that it's more tailored to what that individual is going to need. It's not just a one-size-fits-all package, as it kind of has been in the past. Juvenile justice is a pre-court filing diversion program. A lot of our juveniles can be offered a 3-month pre-court diversion, a 6-month diversion. We do have some cases that need a little bit more help and support, and so we offer a 9 or 12-month pre-court diversion, really hoping to keep juveniles out of our court systems and get them directed onto a better path before it impacts their criminal history and potentially leading to impacts of their adult life. Some of the components that have not changed over the years, all of our diversion participants, clients, are required to do community service. What does that range, 10 to 20 hours,
Yep.
depending?
And we use community service as a sanction at times too. If things are not going well, they can earn themselves in some additional hours.
Yep. We also offer drug testing to monitor their compliance, help with any substance uses that they need, or any substance uses that they are having in need of referral services. So we often try to connect them with the appropriate mental health, substance use assessments. And then Hattie and the other probation officers also offer a lot of school attendance supports, checking grades, checking to see if there's things that we can offer and help the school district with as well, so that there's kind of that compliance all the way around. Your turn.
Perfect. So, our unfortunately, we apologize. Our current system is down, so like pulling data was kind of a little bit of a task. So, in 2025, we had 256 citations. Substance use citations are always our biggest referrals. We had 110 alcohol-related citations, 56 of those coming out of Riverton, along with 5 DUIs and, where are we at? 25 substance drug charges. The thing we see is mostly THC. Actually, that's all we've seen in the last year. And then one thing we did pull this year that was unique and I think is really important to kind of understand is a lot of our kids right now we're seeing is not normal experimental high school drinking. We're seeing far beyond that, and the way we track that is through our blood alcohol content on our citations. In 2025, out of the 110 citations that we saw in Fremont County, only 59 of those had blood alcohols on the citation, and our average blood alcohol content was a 0.148, which is, alarming. Yeah, it's alarming. Our range there was 0.044 to a 0.392. So there is, that is rises far beyond normal experimental drinking and what we would consider in high school. So we're, like Sage said, we're really trying to, support our kids in a different way, connect them to substance abuse services, connect them to mental health services, and, increasing community engagement. That is a big piece of importance in, like they said, protective factors. People who are engaged in their community usually do not commit crimes in their community. So a lot of that goes into, we have, like Sage said, a lot of our monitoring. We do have the ability to do in-house monitoring on like a GPS system. We do that for some of our kids that have rise to a level that they need to be monitored like that. The other thing is our day reporting center. Our day reporting center is always a little under talked about, but it's such a great resource for our community. It helps keep kids who would be otherwise expelled or long-term suspended engaged in their curriculum. Right now we have 7 females down there, and it's been an absolute blast having the girls around. Ms. Brothers knows day reporting well, and we've seen, an increase in attendance and engagement with our young ladies, and that's been a lot of fun this semester.
Okay.
I
Any questions?
have a few comments and questions, but yeah, juvenile service is great. That was my first job, was day reporting center, and I'll tell you, I remember it was hard trying to do really good things with these kids without any funds. I remember, asking, Melinda Cox was in charge of things then, and we were like, we need to help them do these things, because the entire point of juvenile services is to prevent recidivism, and you can't do that without funds. So, and one of the things that they do, and I know that you guys stated on this, is they actually go to the kids' houses and pick them up and bring them to school. And so they're talking about like needing money for fuel and things like that. So they have a van and they go to the kids' house and they go around the county, guys. Like, so they're driving, it takes them like 2 hours every morning and 2 hours every afternoon to pick up all these kids and take them to school. It's not a small thing. And fuel's going up. So I saw that you listed on that, and that's really important. So anyway, that's my biggest thing that I was going to say. But yeah, thank you for what you do. And, I understand how important it is, having worked in there and doing that for so many years and watching you guys do that. And it is important, and I remember doing that, and it did prevent recidivism, and it is, they're our future, so you have to,
Right.
you have to absolutely have money in order to try to help them. So, thank you.
Do you have an organization for the juvenile probation agents that's a accrediting kind of organization or anything like that? I know CAST kind of has a lot of different requirements in terms of, state wants you to do this, that, or the other thing. How about juvenile probation?
We have to meet certain requirements through our Community Juvenile Service Board. That's kind of what you're
Okay.
thinking. Not necessarily I would say that, and then we do receive OJ, JDP funds, and we have to obviously meet requirements with that as well.
Yeah, they have to have like counseling. They each have to have counseling, and they have to have, several of them have like the drug
The monitoring, yeah.
Yeah, and the drug counseling, I don't know, what's it called? Like
Substance abuse
Substance abuse, yeah. So, yeah, they have, each of them like have specific requirements based on whenever they're put in the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious in terms of what sort of requirements there are for your probation agents. It's just a different program than CAST. I'm trying to get a feel for it. So,
You're
okay, go ahead.
And you may not have the answer to this, and that's fine if you don't. And it's going to take you some time. In terms of success rate, with the amount of stuff that you guys do with these youth to keep them out of trouble and keep them on the right track, what is the youth that are discharged from the program or released from your program, what is the rate of reoffending that you see coming back to you?
I know the year it was, last year I was in Melinda, and I remember that statistic.
I think, gosh, in probably youth services or recidivism, and it's really hard to say because you have probably about 15 to 20 kids or so every couple of years that generate most of your citations. So I would say our recidivism rate is probably I don't want to misspeak, but I would say 35% or so. There, we do see a significant, one single theft, and then we don't ever see that juvenile again. We do see, gaps of, they got in trouble when they were 12, and then we haven't seen them till they're 17. But there is, that portion of reoffenders that reoffend to get 5, 6, 7, 8 citations that's a pretty small number in the community.
Okay, thank you.
I think Melinda had said it was smaller than that.
Yeah.
But she might have been looking at
And for day reporting, it's smaller.
I think that's what
Yep.
she was looking
Our
at.
day reporting recidivism is a lot smaller.
I think that's what she was looking at, just day reporting.
Yeah.
She had seen in 5 years, out of 250 offenders, there was one.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't see repeats in day reporting as much. It kind of depends. Right now, we have 2 middle schoolers, so that kind of, when you're at day reporting in the 6th grade, there's a chance that you might come back at some point. But, transition's an important part of that, making sure that we get a good transition plan set up for our day reporting kids, making sure they're connected in a good district that's going to support their needs and just kind of further their education. So you know, we work really hard on getting kids transitioned where they are best going to be served.
And just one more, I'm sorry, follow-up. So just so that I'm understanding correctly, so you said 56 citations came from Riverton, is that correct?
That was of the alcohol, yes.
Okay, so would you say half, less than half, more than half is your clientele from the city of Riverton?
Yeah, oh,
Or
yes.
being generated
yes,
from the
yes.
city of Riverton?
I would say 70%.
Is from the city of Riverton?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
How many people are employed with juvenile justice then?
5.
5. And then 35,000 that was the ask, what does that represent? I mean, we've had some of these, so for example, fire department was able to break that down. Really appreciate Eagles Hope do very well at saying, this is what we're projecting, this is what we're wanting to use it for. What does that represent for your program?
So for our program, it would represent continuing to purchase our evidence-based curriculum, pay for urinalysis testing, pay for if we have to have like an ankle monitor, just in that supervision aspect. The risk needs assessment that we are going to be doing, that was $4,000, and then fuel.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you, appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, next up, Mercy House, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Good evening.
Hello, you have more people up. Bring them up. They're just not there
So,
looking.
thank you, Mayor, councils, city staff. Our director is actually taking a final exam tonight, and so wasn't able to be here, so I'm filling in. And other board members of ours also had previous engagements. It does not show a lack of support at all. They just could not make it, so I do apologize for that. Much of what I'm going to say is in the packet that I gave you. The citations on exactly where I got the statistics I'm going to quote are there for your reference, and to save time, I'm just going to make this brief. So this is our first time presenting, and basically, we are a homeless shelter. We established Riverton's Mercy House in October of 2024 as our board. Our mission is simple but urgent, and that is to provide a path forward for individuals struggling with homelessness in Riverton, helping each person regain independence and becoming a thriving, contributing member of our community. We envision Mercy House as a true sanctuary, a place of radical hospitality, where individuals are met with compassion, dignity, and real support. So the reality in Riverton is, according to the 2024 feasibility study, which this council and the county commissioners funded, at that time, 89 individuals in Riverton were unhoused. Since then, we have had multiple requests for help, and the majority of these have been from women with children, which actually surprised us. That was not what we were expecting. Our population in 2024 was 10,953, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. That means that 0.81% of our population was homeless at that time. The national average for homeless individuals is 0.23%. So just to get that to sink in a little bit, 89 people might not seem like a lot. And some may wonder, why should we as a community spend money to help 89 individuals? But perspective is important. So in Riverton, with our 0.89% of our population as homeless, with the national average of 0.23, that means that we are 252% higher than the national average. That was stunning to me. 3.5 times the national rate of homelessness is what we're dealing with. It's not an a distant urban problem. This is a Riverton problem, and they're not just numbers. These are men, women, and children in our community. This greatly affects our entire community. As homelessness increases, according to studies which I've quoted there for you, it fosters a sense of fear, insecurity, and decreased community cohesion among the housed population. Public spaces such as our parks, sidewalks, trails, and businesses are negatively impacted. Riverton has always valued our children. We've heard tonight how much we value our children. We spend thousands of dollars each year as individuals and as community to support our youth. We are constantly looking for ways to help our youth with activities, sports, recreation, childcare, etc. And while these are all positive community and family endeavors, which I personally support, we are missing the mark on protecting the youth in our area. Some of the youth in the community experience homelessness or difficult situations where they need different shelter options. These are for our youth, or those of our youth that are sheltered experience insecurity of noticing unhoused population when they want to visit their parks, or use the skate park, or walk to and from school, or visit the library. Directly addressing these needs of the unhoused population of our community will also directly impact our youth. If we do nothing to handle this issue, what will happen to our community? If we look at other areas, we can see cities where they've used Band-Aid approaches, or they've had the idea of ignoring the problem, maybe they'll go away. This has caused long-lasting and permanent damage. And those communities include Los Angeles, San Diego, Miami, Austin, Sacramento, Phoenix, Atlanta, Seattle, Oakland, Portland. Need I say more? One example of a community that was proactive in working on the homeless issue is Houston, Texas. And they were able to reduce their homelessness by 63%. We are not large like these other communities, but we can use them as examples of what to do and what not to do. In Wyoming, homelessness isn't just uncomfortable, it can be and has been fatal. Extreme weather conditions have already resulted in tragic outcomes. No one in Riverton should have to face freezing temperatures, isolation, and the real risk of not surviving the night. Mercy House exists to ensure that that never happens again. But we have a gap. In 2019, the Samaritan House closed, and Riverton has lacked a local, consistent shelter solution. Individuals either need to travel long distances or sleep outside. Our neighbors on the reservation have been helpful. However, according to their website, they are there to, quote, serve members of the Northern Arapaho, Eastern Shoshone, and unaffiliated federally recognized tribes, end quote, which includes their recovery center, homeless shelter, and warming hut. In 2025 alone, according to a press release in February, this past February, by Wyoming Rescue Mission served 117 individuals from Fremont County. That was 10% of their population. So Wyoming Rescue Mission highlighted two realities. One is there is a significant need here, and two, the services are currently not local, and they really do need to be. When Mercy House opens, we will offer safe overnight shelter, showers and laundry facilities, nutritious meals, a stable, structured environment, and most importantly, human dignity and support. This is not just a shelter, it is a launching point for restoration. From here, individuals can receive the help they need, either with substance abuse, trauma recovery, or accountability partners, as a few examples. We know not everyone will desire to not live on the streets, but it's our aim to show them that there is a way out if they want it, and each day they choose to be sober. There is an issue, there will be increasingly more comfort and help along the way. So why does this matter financially? Of course I'm gonna hit on that because I'm a financial advisor, right? Mm-hmm. If homelessness is not addressed proactively, our communities will face increased public cost. Emergency room is typically 3 times higher. police and jail costs will increase, and crisis response becomes the default. Studies have shown that it costs 3 times more to manage homelessness through emergency systems than through shelter and support. Second, public health and safety risk. Studies have shown that there's spread of disease such as Hep A and tuberculosis, increased fire risk from encampments, and higher rates of victimization and trauma. And number 3, community impact. Strain on law enforcement, healthcare, reduced quality of life, and decreased economic vitality. Bottom line is ignoring homelessness is not saving money. It's spending more money less effectively. So what have we accomplished so far? Through the community generosity in 2025, including limited donations and limited grant money, we've raised $68,046.75. And we've received donations of beds, furniture, supplies, and skilled labor. We have already remodeled the entire modular unit. We have beds and bedding prepared, and we've hired our part-time director. We've turned a vision into visible progress. So our board, so just so you know who we are, our leadership, I'm the chair right now. I serve as the chair, and I'm a financial advisor. Scott Comers, former law enforcement, is our vice chair. Rowena Bland, local business owner, is our treasurer. Christy Dunn is a registered nurse and our secretary. Cindy Snyder, financial paraplanner and a member of our board. Ethan Flick is a contractor and local business owner. Ian McFarland is a pastor, a non-voting member of our board. And Richard Martin is our local business owner and director. And by the way, just in case you don't know Richard, he actually graduated from Eagles Hope. Okay. We do collaborate with Eagles Hope. We are so blessed that they gave us a property, and I'll go into that in a moment. And we also work very closely with the Wyoming Rescue Mission. We are a nonprofit 501c3. Originally, when we started, our estimation was we would need $550,246 in startup costs, $80,726 a month in expenses, or to cover our expenses, totaling about $1.5 million for 1 year. However, through donations and partnerships like the property that Eagles Hope so graciously donated to us, food costs through the pantry have been reduced by $41,062 a month, and volunteers that are ready and waiting to serve has helped tremendously with staffing costs. So right now, what we need is $203,400, and that will open our doors and cover us for 1 year. Now, can we put a pin in that for just a moment? Because I don't want you feeling like we're going to come back every year asking for that. We're not, okay? I hope. We're not. We're very close. We need funding to hire essential staff, and we need a security one for safety and a few additional beds. We're asking for the city of Riverton to help us with $100,000. We are actively working on raising an additional $100,000 to meet that need, and we do have a little in the bank to cover that extra. So for the city, what this would do is reduce strain on law enforcement and emergency medical services. It would prevent costly crisis interventions. It would improve public safety and health. It would strengthen community stability. It would support our youth, housed and unhoused alike, and support our local businesses. This is not just compassion, this is fiscal responsibility. So back to the pen. Once we're open, at that point, we will be eligible for additional grants that we cannot apply for right now. And since we are faith-based but open to all without requiring religious conversion, the grants include from the public, emergency solutions grants, continuum of care, community development block grants, emergency food and shelter program, and VA Veteran Affairs. From the public sector, donor advised funds, Lilly, Chatloss, and Walmart all have grants that we can apply for once we're open, what we can't now. Our intention is, and what we will do, is build long-term sustainability through proven effective results and create lasting solutions. But we cannot access those opportunities until the doors are open. And so we really need help just getting open so that we can start then showing our results and applying for those additional grants to have sustainability. Riverton has always been a community that takes care of its own. Right now, we have a plan, we have the leadership, we have community support. What we need is your partnership. With your help, we can save lives, restore dignity, and strengthen Riverton. This is the moment to act, and we respectfully ask for your support of a $100,000 grant to help Mercy House open its doors. Because when we care for the most vulnerable among us, we strengthen the entire community, including our youth. And I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Andrus. Any questions?
I do, Your Honor. You actually addressed several of the questions that I had already, but the only other question that I have is a contract for services with you. If the city of Riverton or the council does agree to funding of any sort, can you ensure that the Riverton Police Department would always have a bed for those individuals that they would need to bring to you to reduce costs, like you stated, or is there ever going to be a time where you would have to turn them away?
I really appreciate that question. As I mentioned, our vice chair is Scott Comers, who is former law enforcement, and we have actually talked through that, and I've reached out to the police department to set up a meeting to have that conversation and go through what that might look like. I don't have all the details on all of the needs right now that the city has, but that would be our goal. And just so you're aware, we have a couple of other things in the works. We've been working extremely hard to actually build our capacity out. And I will find out next week if we will be able to get that done very quickly, like our goal is through the summer, so that then in the fall, we would have capacity to actually be able to promise that.
Next fall,
This fall.
this coming fall. Okay, thank you.
It is on our priority list. We've discussed it, and it is on our priority list.
And it's a goal, and it's something you're wanting to do.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
yes.
Any other questions?
Standing.
Just a comment, I just think it's really awesome what you guys have done in such a short amount of time. It's something that we really need, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Anything else?
Other questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much. This was excellent looking at, and I really hope that this is able to, come to fruition. So you're saying, I guess my big question, I was saying that the construction this fall, that's really what you're hoping to have it?
So we have the modular unit done. We have a few more beds we need to add. With that, our capacity is about 25 or so right now. What we need the money for is to have our 4 paid staff, and we have volunteers to fill the rest of them. And then our intention is, one of our board members has a construction company, and we need to take down the large building because we can't put anyone in that building. Like the insurance company won't insure it. So we have to remove that and add additional units. And our plan is, and our hope is that we have some funding specifically for construction. And our goal is to have that together over the summer and have that done through the summer so that in the fall, those units will also be open, and then we'll be able to help with anybody that's brought in.
The money isn't, we can't pay for staff, right?
There's no,
My understanding was when we applied for it, that there were no stipulations on what.
I guess that's my
I
question.
agree. That's, and the reality is,
No,
that's
okay.
part of the whole purpose and why I was wanting to have a committee that would kind of look at
That's my question.
being able to figure
Okay,
out
thank you.
what do we want to have this funding go for.
I'm not saying yes or no, I'm asking, I'm clarifying.
That's fair.
Okay, so, good.
Okay.
That's what I need to know. And then the fall, that would be great before winter. Thank you. That would be really wonderful.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
just a few questions. First off, the feasibility study that started some of this was a collaboration between the county and the city, which I think was excellent. Have you, or do you plan to approach the county as well? And do you have plans to approach the city of Lander?
We have not yet, and we have been so busy.
I hear
that we
you.
just have not done that yet.
Okay.
But thank you for that comment. We'll definitely think.
I just think it's, if we want to have this be something that's regional, I think having it be, the discussion being much like just about every other organization here, being able to go through and ask for funding from other regional communities that benefit from it, I think would make a lot of sense. As it stood, we had an interesting situation where the county basically said, we'll match what the city pays, and that worked out pretty well for everybody involved. So I think being able to continue to speak with the county, with Lander would be good. I know the tribes already have their own program going. I don't know that they've really expressed interest in financially assisting, okay? Yes, sir.
And now is budget season, so don't wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because after June or so, we'll already have it all figured out, and you won't be there.
Okay.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
And I think it'd be good because they have a similar program as we do for the contracts for services, and I think being able to approach Lander and the county would be beneficial.
Okay.
And I think it would help because it always, I think it turns out well for the applicants when you have governments that are like, well, we'll put in this if the other government puts in this.
Matching funds. Okay. That's great. Thank you. Does anyone?
I do like that. I just have one more question, Grace. I'm sorry. Does this mean that you're going to be accepting clients or folks from around the county wholly?
So, originally our thought was to service Riverton. However, and I believe that the study was specific to Riverton. Am I incorrect? Am I correct?
I mean, part of the whole purpose of it was to point out something that you had already pointed out, which is there's funding that's going to Casper, and there's people that are going to Casper from here.
Correct.
And part of the discussion, and something that I wanted to bring up as well, but part of the discussion was, okay, if we bring the people back, so get to keep funding, if that makes sense.
Correct.
And that was my question. It's like,
so
we already have enough of the issue here to be bringing it into it. That's why I asked.
So, so we are working very closely with Wyoming Rescue Mission, and one of the things that we've discussed is that there are a few people, not 117, which is what they currently have served from Fremont County, but a few people that absolutely need to be out of Riverton, Lander, wherever, to get better. And there are some people that are from Casper that need to be out of Casper. So what what Wyoming Rescue Mission does is they do work in collaboration with other rescue missions throughout Wyoming, is my understanding. Okay, and if there's a person, sometimes they may swap to help out each other on a temporary basis. I understand that brings a lot of stress and anxiety and all of those things. But it is not a situation of, okay, now Riverton is going to take on, 500 people or 200 people from all over Wyoming because we have a rescue mission. It's not like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real honest. I don't even want to take on one more person. I don't. We have enough issues to try and manage, so that's why I asked. But thank you for that explanation. I appreciate it.
And may I ask just a clarification question? If Lander has an issue and they don't have a home, but they're willing to help fund, is that acceptable or not acceptable? Because we have not reached out to them yet, so.
We hadn't even thought about it, actually.
I mean, I agree with Mayor Hancock's suggestion. Get funding where you can, and you know, in terms of emergency housing,
Yeah.
to keep somebody out of the cold, absolutely. I'm not sure that I would be ecstatic about bringing people in from other communities that have issues already in other communities.
And to be honest with you, ours is like first responder type situation. In talking with Wyoming Rescue Mission, I feel like in there, because they have, basically, if you took Wyoming Riverton Mercy House and Eagles Hope and combine them, that would be Wyoming Rescue Mission, right? So I think on their end, it was less emergency help. It was more of people who have gone through their emergency part and are now trying to stay sober. And so maybe it's more of a conversation that Eagles Hope and Wyoming Rescue Mission need to have. I don't know, like, I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Well, I appreciate it.
That
Thank
makes
you.
sense, okay.
Okay, so right now the ask is 100,000, and the idea is that with 100,000, you're thinking you could get your doors open, and then you'd have more permanent funding solutions available. You're not intending on having this be coming back next year for another 100,000,
Correct,
but wanting to have this be something where you can get on your feet and get the program going.
correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Sorry, we kind of kept things long.
Does anybody need an invitation to the dinner on the 23rd or 24th or 25th of this month? We have invitations, if you would like one.
I have one. I think I already RSVP'd.
Yes,
Okay, good.
we have you on a table.
Great.
Carla's coming, Mike's coming. Anybody else?
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for what you're doing.
I do have the invitation, and I'm balancing it between Dancing with the Stars.
What did you say, Brendan?
Maybe I get with you later on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for what you've got going on and for what you've been willing to do. That's an exciting program, and I'm glad you've been able to take that torch and run with it. Okay, Chamber and Visitor Center. And Cindy, I said the full thing this time because I wanted to make sure it was clear in terms of the Visitor Center.
Okay. I'm about to talk about that.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. For all those watching, I'm Cindy Olson-Roden, the Executive Director of the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I have 3 board members in the audience from the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center and our administrative assistant.
Well, bring them on up here with you. Don't be shy.
They said no.
Oh, come on.
I'm a little easier.
Social pressure, that's how we do things here.
Yeah. So I would like to make a quick clarification. While on the application and agenda, it referenced the Riverton Chamber and Visitor Center together, it's important to distinguish that this request is mainly for the Riverton Visitor Center, which operates as a division of the Riverton Chamber of Commerce. That distinction matters because tonight's request is focused mainly on the work and impact of the Visitor Center. So what is the Riverton Visitor Center? We're located at 524 East Main Street with a side entrance on 6th Street. You may have noticed our large banner flags. More importantly, we serve as the front door to Riverton, welcoming both visitors and residents alike. Every day we provide information on local attractions, events, dining, lodging, and outdoor recreation. We help visitors make the most of their stay, and we help residents stay connected to what's happening in our community. If you Google Visitor Center Riverton, Wyoming, our website comes right up there. And if anyone's looked at our website, it is half visitors center and half chamber, since we are that combo. The wayfinding signs have been excellent. I think there are probably 5 or 6 that have Visitor Center on there, directing people to where we're located at. And I'm really excited about that going into the tourist season. That will help people. But our role goes far beyond handing out maps and brochures.
The Visitor Center plays a key role in supporting the local economy. We actively promote Riverton businesses, encourage longer stays, and help increase spending throughout the community. We answer questions, connect people to local services, highlight events, and showcase everything that makes Riverton a great place to visit and live. In many ways, we are the marketing arm for Riverton. We act as the community concierge, and we serve as a hub for hospitality, promotion, and community pride. How are we different from the Wind River Visitors Council? Wind River Visitors Council is the tourism marketing entity for Fremont County, funded through the lodging tax. They do market Riverton to a degree, but they have the whole county to market. We as Riverton need to market ourselves, as we are unique and don't have physical assets that our area in the county, other areas in our county have. It is not easy to sell Riverton as a destination per se, but we have many assets that we can sell, and that is why the visitor's guide that will be published in May will demonstrate. That is what the guide will demonstrate. We hope to distribute 4,000 to 5,000 guides because every visitor dollar spent in Riverton directly supports our local businesses and in turn strengthens the city's tax revenues. Tourism is not just about visitors, it's about sustaining and growing our local economy. City support for the Riverton Visitor Center and the Riverton Chamber doesn't stand alone, it multiplies. It leverages private investment from the business community and expands the reach of our efforts. Together, we become an extension of the city itself, promoting economic development, supporting tourism, providing critical community information, and strengthening the overall business environment. At the end of the day, the impact is simple. When businesses succeed, the community succeeds. And the Riverton Visitor Center and the Riverton Chamber are here to make that happen. What I handed out is a little copy, a remade copy of a little brochure that the Wind River Visitors Council actually came up with, but it's for Riverton. Because we didn't have very many of these, I reduplicated it onto a one sheet that we put in our visitor bags. We hand them to visitors that come in to see us. We'll put them in mailings going out. So it's just one little tiny sample of something that we do. Our visitor's guide is, Sarah just put down on the counter here, is very, very close to being done. We are super excited about it. It is 40 pages. It's all visitor information. So that's kind of my speech. I didn't really go over what was in the packet, but I'm ready for questions for what anyone has.
Well, I appreciate the breakdown here, Cindy, and I know some of what we had discussed, for example, was chamber membership, and had discussed, okay, Riverton has been paying to the chamber, what can that look like? What could that look like in terms of membership going forward? So I appreciate that. And you've broken down really what we would want to invest in, correct? If we were saying, what we're going to pay to the chamber, if we wanted to say, okay, last year we would have basically said we did 5,000, which was basically membership.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be an option, but then we also have the maintenance for the website. We have the events calendars, those kinds of things. Hospitality and tourism conferences, that almost surprises me that would be something that would be paid by the Wind River Visitors Council.
No.
Nope, they've not done that.
Yeah, we don't get any money from the Wind River Visitors Council except for when we apply for TAD.
Okay. And then I know you've had the visitor and event bags, so that's like the contents, making sure that those are ready to go out. The visitor's guide, which you've been hard at work at for months. So breaking this down this way makes it a lot easier that as we discuss this with the council, we can say, these are things that we want to be paying into, these are things maybe we don't or do. So just a very helpful breakdown. It'll make it a lot easier to discuss going forward.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I just have one, I'm sorry. First of all, thank you. I've told you this privately, I'll tell you publicly. I think you have done an absolutely amazing job with the chamber and stepped up and You're doing a fantastic job, so I appreciate that about you. What does the $5,000 gold membership get the city of Riverton?
So there is, and I failed to include our tier structure in the application. What that does, that is our top level. It gets, we do our advocacy, of course, all the things that we do for our lower members. You're an upper tier, of course. We do a membership spotlight every year. You are a sponsor on a lunch and learn probably once every 5 months, 6 months. And then we mix that up with a couple of bronze members. And I can get you, if you want the tier structure, I can sure get that to you. That was my fault. But along with that, we also throw in, you do get a sign at the Riverton Regional Airport. I don't know that that would be advantageous, but City of Riverton supports the City of Riverton. Yeah. So.
Probably not as big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I do, you'd given me the breakout of that, and if you could send that in an email to everyone on the council, that'd be helpful just to be able to.
I will do that. Yeah, because it lists it all. There is a lot of advantages. We have additionally, that's not in the packet, added a tuition for anyone from the city to join Leadership Fremont County per year. That is one added benefit. Trying to think of the others. I don't have those off the top of my head, but I will send that over and let you guys look at that tomorrow. Does that help a little bit? Okay.
Go ahead.
Cindy, thank you so much. You've done a really great job, and we appreciate you coming each month and letting us know how it's going, because, economic development really is the key to moving Riverton forward. I love this little thing that if you have an hour or 3 hours and a whole day, this is super cool, just for residents and anyone visiting too. And thank you for breaking everything down for us. This is appreciative. And to build on Karen's question, you had told me that similar communities to Riverton, that you have don't you have numbers as to how that 5,000 joining the chamber, how does that move us forward as a city? Because you had said that similar communities, as they buy in to the chamber, how does that help us?
One of the things, we treat you just like, any other business. Any of your employees can come to our lunch and learn. Which we are always putting on presentations. Those are once a month, that have to do with business and other community aspects, very informational. We have our after hours networking that is always a good contact form. As far as I did a comparison with other cities of population, and a good share of them, not all of them, are a member of their local chamber, usually at higher levels at the, in that gold range. Then they also do receive money. I know for Lander, for instance, they're at a $5,000 level with the Lander Chamber. They also get, $16,000, $17,000 a year for their visitor center. I checked with Cody, Douglas, Sheridan, real similar. One of them, Cody, they did not get any support other than the building that they're in is owned by the city, and so they get a very reduced amount of rent, so that helps a lot in that case. But each one is different. They're not all alike. I'm not going to say that every city does it exactly the same, because they're definitely not. Some cities get $100,000.
Oh, wow.
Or some chambers, visitor centers get $100,000. I think that might have been Green River.
That's pretty cool.
So it's all over the board.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
But they do usually buy into that membership, is what you had told me, and that's pretty cool.
And it's a partnership.
Yeah.
We, a lot of times, I don't know, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
There's not a fine line. A lot of people think the chamber is part of the city, in kind of vice versa. We field a lot of calls that we have to direct them to call to the city. People think they need to come there for their food truck permit, different things. So there is that in the mentality, there is a connection there, even though we're not directly related. Back in the day before internet and social media, the chamber was the place to come for information of any kind. So people still have that mindset.
Well, and building on that, Cindy, so how many views, like since some of this is going to your website, how many views have you had on your website? How many active users? And then also, like, how many event bags did you hand out last year?
Sure.
Do you have that number?
I do. I have a statistic here. So on the website, which is a combo, like I said, between Chamber and Visitor Center. And so members of the Chamber have a member directory they go to, and they can put their logo, they can put their information, and then they come up in a Google search. Now, as far as the tourism, from last year, I had our web people go back from the starting the 1st of April back to the end of March. And our number of visitors were 23,500. Page views were 41,640. So that was quite a bit. We still have a little work to do on that. I'm hopefully going to get that finished by early June. But there's already some real good content on there. We do a member spotlight, several a month. Those are coming out through County 10. Then they also are getting posted to the website as well. So it's kind of fun to be able to look at all those member spotlights. As far as bags, I know in the last year we did about 1,450, and we try to be real selective. I get with the 3 major hotels and say, okay, what do you have coming the next quarter, next 3 months? And let's talk about, are these good ones to provide event bags? What kind of conferences, small meetings, what do you have coming? Because that's really the only way I know what's coming. And so we work together. I work with them. I bring event bags to the hotel to give to them and just to show what we have in Riverton. And like I said, I know Riverton is not a destination, but if we show the things that we do have, and our event or visitors guide is going to market as a brand of where the base camp to adventure. And so, you can do some things around here, but if you want to stay a couple days, stay here and do your day trips to Lander, DuBois, Thermopolis. And so it's another option to advertise our area and get people to come here, spend money. That's the goal. I hope I answered the questions.
Okay. Well, we have done really well at having everybody go 2 to 5 minutes. It's been excellent. We've gotten through so many people, and it's 7:30. I'm being sarcastic in case. No. Who was it that said that? Was that you, Rowena? We're at an hour and a half. This is usually when we would take a break. I know we don't have that many left. Thank you very much, Cindy. Didn't mean to just kind of say, you're done. Had the shepherd's crook come and just pull you off the stage. So I'd like to take just a 5-minute break. We're going to come back. Do we have any restrictions on time for WRTA, Pause for Life, or Willow Creek in terms of who needs to go first for any reason? Okay. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be back. We'll do it in that order. WRTA, Pause for Life, Willow Creek. Thank you. We're not adjourned. Recessed. Recessed at 7:36.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Always wonderful to come to Riverton City Council and present. It's my favorite, just so everybody knows, and that's on the record. Also, I want to highlight a couple things. I don't remember the individual who was speaking, but she was mentioning Houston's homeless reduction. I was trying to find the TCRP report, which is the Transportation Coordination Research Program. Anyways, it's where I nerd out on all the transportation. But what she's talking about is a legitimate, like those statistics are legitimate. And there was a piece of it that was analyzed by the TCRP board because they position public transportation as a core piece of their response to their homeless situation. So it was fascinating. I was trying to find it so that I could kind of source it in there, but she absolutely. Anyways, I'll get started. Wind River Transportation Authority, I kind of evaluated how best to go about presentation this year. I threw a lot of statistics out last year, but I wanted to go a bit of a different direction, but also showing what we accomplished in FY26 through Riverton's investment. So unknowingly at the time, when we made our request, we didn't understand we would have to be going through an unprecedented integration of public transportation programs for Wyoming with the Riverton Senior Center. Last fiscal year, Riverton invested $42,000. And then later that fiscal year, we found out we had to integrate that service in order to preserve it for the community. So through some strategic application, we were able to leverage out $96,685 of FTA 5311 operating funds to integrate that service and provide those services right here in Fremont, or right here in Riverton. So what we did is we turned that limited local investment into an extremely expanded public benefit. We expanded public transportation services in Riverton by 59%. We reduced the overall cost of provision of that service by 29%. The existing service was not just preserved, but it was expanded, it was made more efficient. Mobility became more practical, more available, and more sustainable in Riverton. Thanks to that investment in those funds that are leveraged, WRTA will transport over 50,000 passengers in fiscal year 26 before close. That is huge. That is greater numbers than WRTA has reported in passenger ridership in over a decade. It is huge. So what does that actually mean for people? It means that they're getting to work, the community is getting to their appointments with dignity, and a person without a car in the city of Riverton can go get groceries, they can get to their service, and they can meet their daily necessities without having a vehicle. Families are facing fewer transportation barriers in the city of Riverton, and opportunities are becoming reachable, not theoretical. Riverton is on the brink of something huge. I've spoken about it for 2 years now, and we're there. The city's FY26 investment has helped bridge the opportunity gap in Riverton. WRTA On Demand, which is the microtransit system we're launching, is transforming access within Riverton. The foundation is now in place, and the question is no longer whether it can work. The proof of concept has been proven. The question is whether we'll secure it for the future. So, why is FY27's request going to look a little bit different? In FY26, we got lucky, I'm not going to lie. There were a few opportunities out there that we leveraged out. The governor's office, through their program of Infrastructure Investments and Job Act local match, granted WRTA $244,448.50 for its local match obligation. That was a one-time grant. We also had some additional support from our limited 0.5% reserves to use for local match, and those sources will not be available in fiscal year 27. FY27 reflects, our request reflects the need to replace that temporary support with stable local match, and unfortunately that conversation for every public transit agency always lands at local subsidization. So, what does our FY27 asks look like? Well, our total operating local match will be $510,662. So transparently, and I believe you all have an Excel spreadsheet that took that total local match requirement, allocated it per capita, and by utilization of service. So, in other words, Shoshone is not paying anything because they don't receive service. Du Bois receives very limited service, so their allocation is really low. Hudson's per capita, so it blends per cap with service utilization. And then it's allocated out to each individual. So request for the city of Riverton, $112,000. City of Lander, Fremont County, town of Du Bois, town of Hudson. And there is a tribal piece there. We'll be bridging those conversations soon.
Question, Mr. Nichols.
Yes.
Have you received anything like this from any of those organizations except for the city of Riverton for last year?
For last year?
Yes.
No.
So Riverton was the only one that funded?
You were. And you were the one that got the most service provision. We prioritize that strategically.
Pay to play, I get it. But the idea, though, is you're saying this is what you're going to be asking from each one of these entities.
Correct.
But have not received yet.
Correct.
Okay. And then my next question, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Theoretically, if this 0.75% tax is funded and we start having that received, are you going to need this 510,662?
Negative. No.
So that'll take care of it all.
That will take care of not. And I won't use this as a podium to communicate the proposed three-quarter. But not only will WRTA not need its operating local match or its capital, but neither will the remainder of all public transportation agencies in Fremont County.
So in other words, right now, we have how many other public transportation agencies in Fremont County? We just lost one because it merged with WRTA, which was the Riverton Senior Center.
Yep.
Which was, according to federal grant and all of that, its own public transportation entity. Now there's one.
Yes.
There. So we have four. So we have WRTA, we have Lander
Senior Center.
We have Shoshone. And Du Bois.
Du Bois.
And did I get it?
Child Development Services.
Child Development Services. Yep. So all of those are needing to have local match funding, and they struggle and they try to make sure, because there's all these federal funds out there, but the federal funds can only be accessed if you get local match funds.
Correct.
But with the proposed 3/4 cent tax, that would take care of every single one of them for local match, guarantee the future of each of them for at least the next 4 years. Make sure if you need a ride from Head Start, you need a ride for any of these things from the senior centers, it's taken care of. Wow, it seems like a good idea. Okay, thanks, Mr. Nichols.
Yeah, I do want to highlight, too, that we did include WRTA at 37%. So what that means to us is that WRTA will guarantee 37% of its local match will be self-generated to the best of our ability. Right, I've mentioned that a couple times. I know to this board, but others as well, is we're very limited in what we can generate through allowable contracts, but that is our commitment. We're not just simply saying, this is our local match, here's your invoice, please help us out. We are obligating ourselves in this request as well. So what Riverton's investment would help secure? WRTA on-demand mobility within Riverton is continued. Protection of the expanded service access, retention of operational efficiencies that we've already achieved and continue to investigate, stable local match to leverage outside funding, right? And we'll continue to do that. And then the continued movement toward a community where mobility is truly accessible. So the question, kind of corny, but will freedom of mobility remain a dream? Or will Riverton choose to make it a reality? I'll answer any questions you would like.
Well, but for my questions, you probably could have just about done 2 to 5 minutes. Any questions? I have another question.
Okay.
if Riverton pays $112,000 and nobody else pays anything, what happens to WRTA?
I'll always strive to remain optimistic, but reserves are diminishing quickly. We're going to have to make some service adjustments. We're doing so informed. We have our ongoing study that's evaluating, and it will show us a pathway forward of how we can start throttling back services in order to meet that local match. The other side of that reality is that every penny that we don't leverage out will be reallocated, right? So all of those public transit dollars that go into the community currently from our FTA funding, YDOT will reallocate those to probably Jackson. And so we'll lose that likely for a considerable amount of time. Those funds take a while to allocate out. But that's the probable reality of if we don't secure our local match for fiscal year 27, we will have to start making service adjustments. I know I've said that, but the city of Riverton and the governor's office were the only two entities in fiscal year 26 that invested in WRTA in that year. There was some discussion amongst the city of Lander and the city of Hudson as well, but those never came to fruition. This year, we would make a similar ask with a little more emphasis on the severity of the consequences should that local match request not be met.
Mr. Bailey?
So, and you may have already answered, if so, I apologize, but, so the $100,000 that we would contribute, how much money comes into the system with that $100,000 match? I mean, is it
I'm not really good at mental math, so I'll take that. That would be the 43.44 local match requirement for the 56.56% of operating funds from the 5311 program. So
we would get an additional 100,000 in rough numbers?
Yes.
50-50-ish?
Yes.
40?
Rough, yeah. If you rounded, that would be, yes.
Which is the same way that we've leveraged federal funds to be able to have a very nice airport that has commercial air service.
Yeah.
In that we pay a very small percentage for multiple improvements, runways, that kind of thing. Same sort of idea here. We have all these tax dollars that we've already paid, by the way, that the federal government holds on to and says, if you match it, then we're going to pay it into your community. If you don't match it,
We're going to give it to somebody else?
we're going to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So the point is, when Riverton was making that investment, and the governor was making that investment, that opened up federal funding.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
just to be clear, when you say service adjustments, that's service diminishment, correct?
That is correct.
He's trying to be PC.
So as service is diminished, as does go economic vitality?
Unfortunately.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would like to, when things stabilize a bit more, we now have a subsection of 5311 funding, but 5304 funding, which is planning, state planning funds. I'd like to secure a bit of that because I'm determined to quantify an exact dollar amount of economic activity generated through public transportation in Fremont County. Not our national average statistic of $1 to $5 return, but I want to know exactly what Fremont County is generating because in Senator Kelcase have a suspicion, but he would know far more than I that number is going to be greater for the rural setting in Fremont County than it would be on the national stage. And so I want to be able to quantify that directly for what Fremont County sees with public transportation. But you did hit an excellent point.
You're saying maybe $1 spent in New York City would lead to $4 in economic development, but in somewhere like Fremont County, it might be 10.
Yes.
And I guess I think in the employment area, most businesses that I see are really struggling for more employees. And one of the big hurdles that we have is them getting to and from, we all love living in a rural environment until, it makes it hard to get somewhere. And
So you got to go to work at 8?
Until, yeah, you got to go to work and you don't have a car and it's 20 below and a foot of snow and you can't ride your bicycle. So
And how are you supposed to buy a car if you don't have the money to buy a car because you don't have a
you don't
job?
have a job. There you go. So there's a big multiplier effect there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Thank you.
Appreciate your hard work.
We'll keep at it.
Pause for Life. If nobody else, you wanted to outnumber every other board that came here. So, if you could, Lonnie, just introduce who you have here.
Well, I have everybody here. So, as you all know, Lonnie Slack, the director of PAWS, and I will let these guys introduce themselves. Meanwhile, I have handouts for you.
Great.
Now, may I approach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm a big fan of Perry Mason, so I know. But I would also like to say, I think my students are watching to make sure I am where I am, and this is the first time in 28 years of being a college professor I've handouts in a plastic bag. I do apologize for that.
That's my fault.
I don't think.
What do they
anybody's
normally come in? Velvet bag or?
Crown Royal bag.
They're not spiral bound either, by the way, yeah.
No.
This looks.
Old schooling in here, sir.
Is this like a syllabus size or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're working on your doctorate degree.
It's gonna, the big syllabus.
I'll take one for you.
You forgot Sarah.
Came straight from hot off the press.
Did you need
God bless you.
That was.
I have one. All right. So, I may not be in quite order that you guys are in. So, did you guys even introduce yourselves? Go ahead.
I'm Devin Kellerhall.
Emily Canham.
Didn't give their official titles. Board members, co-director, treasurer. My secretary's, she's out. She's trying to perfect,
Stand closer to the microphone if you would, please.
Yeah. Nita's missing today, so she's perfecting brownies for this weekend.
Oh.
So, I have everybody. So anyways, we're here for to go over the costs and balances that you all have received. So, PAWS has been at this for 21 years. So we serve the community in managing a local stray population, rescuing thousands of animals over these years, and these efforts directly support public health, safety. However, raising operational costs and increasing animal intakes have created significant financial challenges. Our annual budget currently is between $350,000 and $400,000. We do get some donations, sometimes pretty sizable, that can kind of help us with our vet bills, which are still way out of control. It's just cost of doctors, health care for critters is quite costly. So in the last year, from April 2025, March 27, 26, we processed 321 critters for RPD. It's not counting any that were just picked up or that were delivered owner surrenders, which are minimal because we don't really have a lot of space. Out of them 321 critters that we took care of for RPD, these are going to be the numbers for 5 days. Veterinary care, 33,000. Food, 11,000. Staffing, 72,000. And a total of 117 rounded up on that. That's what it takes for us to manage, keep control of the critters for their first initial intake. Of course, obviously after that, they're no longer city animals and they become PAWS. After that, then we try to get them out, adopt them. We're transferring animals. It doesn't serve anybody, the critters, any purpose to keep them, have them for as long as that we minimally can. It's just all shelters, all communities are having a huge abandoned animal problem. We're not any different. It's just getting trickier for us to manage it. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, a couple of things I wanted to ask about. So donations, 102,904, what are we talking about there? Because I see Paws and Pearls is separate, 43,000. By the way, nicely done.
My sheets are out of, which one are you on? Sorry.
This is page 3 on my sheet. This is statement of activity.
Okay.
And I have a line that says donations, 102,904. And I have a line that says Paws and Pearls, specifically.
So for donations, that would be if somebody were to pass away and leave us money, then that number, that money would contribute to that number. It also is people, we have people that donate to our PayPal, so that number, people make like weekly donations to PayPal, monthly donations to PayPal. We also just have people that will randomly send us a $100 check, $50 check, $10 check. Sometimes people will round up what they adopt an animal for. They'll give us extra funds there. So donations, like the money that where it shows the amount for the donations, then that all of those different things would contribute to that number.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
$100,000 last year?
Mhm.
How does that range, rate versus prior years?
What did you say? 'Cause
It's higher because we got that
The
from
estate.
from the guy that.
So, I just.
I know.
Over.
I'm seeing Devin here, and I'm seeing you're looking at it, and that's all good.
So we did this year, someone left us an inheritance of $50,000.
Okay,
from
so
our estate.
half of that was an estate.
Yes.
A gift.
Yes.
Incredible. Okay.
So, that traditionally probably doesn't happen every year.
Devin? No?
No, we did get very lucky last year where, Whitney had been working with Jackson, and they were kind enough to donate something as sizable for us for vet care, but that is not typical.
Yeah.
And how many employees do you have? I'm just looking at payroll expenses here.
We just lost a few. We should have 10.
10, full-time, part-time? How does that work?
5 full-time, 5 part-time.
5 full-time, 5 part-time. So 10 total. And you just lost a few, huh?
Yeah, we're working on replacing. I just made a post today about hiring. So.
Okay.
We had one join the military.
Yeah, one joined the military.
Didn't want to take care of dogs anymore. Wanted to.
He's leaving Sunday.
I'm sure he'll miss the dogs.
We're putting a few dogs in his pockets when he leaves.
Mhm.
So
And you arranged that?
yeah, so he'll remember us.
Okay, then we've got city funding from last year. So I'm looking now at last year, and when I say last year, I mean last fiscal year, April 24 to March 25.
That was
Funding was-
45, yes. We received 45,000, so currently we're asking for 75,000 to have offset half-ish of what we're actually spending just doing city animals.
Okay. Now, we are by far, other than very kind people that leave funds behind as part of a gift through a will or whatever, 45,000 compared to 5,500 from the county, don't receive anything from any other entities like Lander or anything like that.
No, Lander's their own entity. We have no MOU with Hudson Shoshone unless it's picked up through the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department, they spend so many dollars, they give us so many dollars, but they're billed out at $15 a day.
No.
We're out of money. They stop bringing us animals.
No tribal funding.
No, not currently, no.
Have you asked?
We've tried to work, actually, there's been several entities, Tribal Housing Authority has talked to me several times. We're trying, the problem is they don't want to own a building.
They don't want to own the building.
A building for themselves. So they're trying to figure out a way to be able to have animal control without owning a building. So that would mean that they're going to have to transfer animals to us, which isn't going to work because we don't have space. There is the ability for them to give us money to increase operations as far as space. But then there became a problem that I really was not aware of, and they've not got back to me. If they're tribal entities, their dogs, they're not sure if they can transport them to Riverton. Some of it is going to be is just very similar to our work with RPD. Say you get a DUI, they have to take custody of that animal for 5 days. If something happens on the reservation, they're not sure if Riverton city limits, an entity can take control of that animal.
All right, so I'm curious, because I know part of the whole idea behind this contract is we bring animals to PAWS, and PAWS is going to take them, and the idea is PAWS is going to take them for a period of time, and then it's going to just be, let's say, general population. We're not imprisoning them, but that's the best example I can think of, right?
I would look at it as Riverton gifts us these animals.
So we have dogs that are taken in for a period of time, and then they go into general population. And then from there, the idea is you're trying to get them adopted.
Correct.
And the thought has been, City of Riverton, for the most part, is bringing in a lot of these animals, but you have a lot of stray animals. And you have county that brings in animals. I guess I'm kind of like, how do we compare, how does Riverton bringing in animals compare to what you're getting from the county versus just stray animals? What percentage are we talking here?
Of total animals, RPD brings in brought in 68% over the last fiscal year.
Wow.
68%? So then what were the others? Just strays, or how many of them were brought in by county?
I didn't pull the numbers exactly for county. I know they didn't bring in very many over the last year because we've been overcrowded.
Once the county reaches their amount that they gift us, they can't bring us more animals.
So they give you 5,500, and then the idea is you're going to, that's it. Again, I'm not trying to use this phrase too much, but that's pay to play.
Yes. Correct.
They're like, once they reach that 5,500, you're not taking any more dogs.
Yeah, they just don't. They don't want to go over that amount, so they just don't bring them in.
So how much per animal is that?
Yeah, I'm curious about
$15 a day.
It's what?
$15 a day. County.
$15 a day for the county.
Times 5.
Up to 7 days is what they pay.
Do they pay for the?
Oh, because their ordinance is
or
different.
anything?
No, they're running basically the $15 a day for 7 days. Then we assume the veterinary care just like we're doing with RPD. It's just then after their time limit, we get their critters.
Where do you take, sorry, Your Honor, can I ask, where do you take them for the vet fees? Or where do you take them for the vet?
Currently, we generally have to use the stock doc because there's no other vets that can handle the amount that we do. We are good at getting them to Jackson for the free spay and neuter, so we are shuffling them, but then that's kind of gets a little crazy because we have to have our van and it needs to run, and we're running all over the county to get them places.
So county right now is paying you 5,500, or at least last year they did. You haven't received anything from them yet this year. I mean, we're just going off of last year.
Correct.
And the idea is that's $15 a day, and that's just kind of once they reach that amount, then you're done.
Correct.
Okay. And then if it's somebody that's just a surrender or a stray animal that comes in that doesn't involve law enforcement, that's not part of that 68%. That's part of the 42 or 32 that's just kind of other animals.
Correct.
Okay.
We're in a catch with that. If we tell somebody we're full, we're not able to take your animal. we'll see it in the next couple of days because.
As a stray.
Yeah,
Animal
Riverton
control
brings
pick
it
'em.
to you because they let it out in the street.
Yes. We do charge a surrender fee, and then if you don't want to pay that, it's easy to come over here to City Hall and drop your dog off and drive away. And then RPD's getting a call, animal control picks them up, and we have them within the next day or two.
So I know that you kind of delineate this out in terms of city funding for last year is 45,000, but it's a lot more than that in terms of the building that you're in as a city.
Correct.
Owned
That's
building.
not added in there, and I don't remember, unless Mr. Butterfield remembers off the top of his head, I'm sure he's told me half a dozen times where we're at with that. We are not charged for rent $1. City pays for our electricity, our water, our heating, that type of thing. We're at 50-50 with maintenance on most things. Sometimes the city just fixes some things for us. But yeah, so we're there. So it is a bit more. I don't know what it, I don't know, unless you know off the top of your head, Mr. Butterfield, of what our expenditures are for utilities.
Your Honor, I do not know that off the top of my head, but my computer was fast enough that I could pull it up. I ran this last year, so forgive me, the data's a little stale.
It's fine.
But as it relates to Rocky Mountain Power and Black Hills Energy, let me just make sure my cell's right. So about 2,300 or 2,500 a year in power costs and roughly the same in Black Hills Energy. So it's, and I'm going back through time to find some averages. So I would say it's about $5,000 that's paid in those utilities.
So utilities were at about 5,000.
Does that include water as well?
That's what I was going to ask. What about water? What about wastewater?
Your Honor, I do not have that data in front of me.
Okay. So 5,000 on top of that. I'm just trying to kind of parse it all out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no,
I've had a lot of people that ask questions and a lot of people that get frustrated, and I'm just trying to say, let's talk about actual numbers here, right?
Correct.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. My computer reminds me that I had to scroll down a little bit. What I have is an average for water, sewer, and sanitation is about $4,000.
Sanitation, so that's in a year?
Yeah, that's an annual.
So water and sanitation, that's about 4,000 total?
Water, sewer, sanitation, and I'll go back and verify these numbers just so they're accurate, but.
$9,000.
So about $9,000.
Around $9,000.
And that's not even counting that this is I'm not calling this prime real estate, Lonnie, okay?
Okay.
But the space that you operate in is provided by the city of Riverton.
Correct.
The utilities are completely covered by the city of Riverton.
Correct.
And so we've got about 9,000 there. And then we have 45,000 that we gave you last year on top of that. Not that I'm saying that that's an incredible amount either. That's not a penthouse suite either. So then, and then we're bringing in about 68% of your business, and I'm not saying that is necessarily a positive, but 68% of your business is coming from animal control in Riverton.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Just wanting to figure some of that out. All right. Any other questions? I've been hogging it, but.
So by your numbers, if you take that 116,915 divided by 321 animals, that's $364 per animal is what you're saying that your cost is for 5 days.
For the animal, not, obviously not counting the building, the water.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Your little list here of what you spend on those 5-day animals that we bring you is $364 per animal.
Correct.
But
That
you're
would,
doing it for the county for $15 a day times 7, which is 105.
I see what you're saying. You're saying the county
So
is.
the county's getting a good deal.
That number is total care, not just the 5 days.
Total care for the life of when they're there, or?
We're talking just the food number, is that what you're asking?
Veterinary care.
No, we're talking, we're trying to compare out the county versus the city.
So the
county animals don't get, that number that you have that you're referencing is including the spay and the neuter and the microchipping and everything that we do for the dogs that RPD brings in.
Okay.
The county dogs, that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen to the county dog. That's,
What do you do with them?
that total isn't included in that $15 a day.
So what do they, so what do
So do
they,
you still spay and neuter them too?
We just only include the numbers that pertain to the city itself.
No, I understand, but so the county's getting free spay and neutering and you're including it in the number that.
The county doesn't, we don't pay for their emergency vet bills. So if a dog gets hit out of town, they transport to whichever care they want. That doesn't come to.
And they pay that themselves?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all right. So some of that's being covered by them in addition to the $5,500 for the.
Yes.
excess stuff.
And fortunately, we worked out with RPD, it's no surprise anymore to PAWS. They're very good. RPD's dispatch is very good at notifying Devin or I if they're transporting, so we know when they're going. We don't, the county doesn't, they don't utilize that with us. We don't pay for that.
they just show up with a dog?
Yes, if it's intact. If it's later needs emergency care, then they can transport later, we can pick them up, but they're paying that vet bill.
Okay, and I know you're wanting to talk, sorry. Councilwoman Johnson.
It's okay.
It's a common issue, and Carla knows it, and you sit back, and so my left side, I just don't see as well. Okay, so county, in terms of what's going on with them, you're not kind of taking on this fiduciary obligation in terms of saying, if you're going to bring a dog to us and that dog needs care, from the city of Riverton, you're saying, we're going to cover that, but then we're going to bill you for it and you're going to pay us for it later, pretty much is what we're doing here.
With the city?
With the city.
Well, I wouldn't say that we're billing back after the care. I mean, we are very specific on how vet care should be handled, which we've worked out very clearly with RPD as far as when emergencies are put into the vet, as long as they are impounded properly, we take that bill regardless of the time frame, first 5 days stray hold or not. And if for some reason that impound procedure is not taken care of properly, then that in turn goes back to RPD or to the city. However, what we're doing is asking for help to make our process sustainable in caring for these dogs, but we are definitely not billing back to the city the full cost of care for animals. So if a dog gets hit on the road, RPD takes it to Stock Dock and does not do the proper impound paperwork in accordance with the timeline in our MOU, then that dog's accident is then taken on by RPD. If they notify us in the proper time frame in our agreement with the MOU, then we take over, unfortunately, the cost for these emergency cares situations.
Okay, so, and that's where Mr. Bailey, and that's what I'm trying to figure out
Yeah,
here,
it's-
is in terms of what's the difference there. If we have animals that the city of Riverton is bringing to PAWS, I'm seeing here that you're saying veterinarian care, the cost associated with it is $33,000. So you're wanting us to pay $116,000, with part of that being veterinary care.
We're asking for $75,000.
Okay, gotcha. I'm looking at the wrong number, that's fine.
A picture of what it kind of costs to.
I gotcha.
That volume of dogs.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's where I was looking at the wrong number. And I knew I had seen that before, but I was looking at this and getting distracted.
A lot of numbers tonight.
I know. Councilwoman Johnson, go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, let me start by saying I think that the work that you guys do is commendable. I think taking in every animal that you possibly can, saving them and caring for them is commendable. However, I think that one of two things is occurring here. Either the city of Riverton is bringing in far too many animals and it exceeds their ability to fulfill the contract for services that is in place, or we need to look at devoting some money to expand the building to make it more accessible so that there's not an overcrowding. Several times in the last several months, you guys are over capacity.
have been, and
I'll
it's-
finish, please. You guys are over capacity, okay? And you're not accepting our animals, which puts the city of Riverton, our police department, our animal control officers, and citizens in a predicament, so to speak. We have an obligation to fill to the citizens in the community when they call in a stray animal, and it needs to be picked up, and we have to have a place to take that. And when we discussed this last time, I had brought this up, that we do not have alternative options where we can take them. And I think that that's causing us to provide a disservice to the citizens of Riverton. And if we're just talking about facts, by your own numbers, it costs roughly $117,000 to run the facility for the city of Riverton's animals, not including the ones that you take in as drop-offs or strays or surrenders or whatever the case may be. And we're already covering that substantially. And I think that there are other organizations, Mayor, that hold interest in providing services for the city of Riverton, and I think that those need to be explored. I'm reluctant to agree because the contract has been broken. Our staff is unable to fill requests to pick up animals. There is not guaranteed space. In any other contract, in any other setting, would be dissolved. And I think that we really need to look at what our options are here. We can't continue to fund and not receive the service that we need in order to provide to the city of Riverton.
So-
I think what
I hear what you're saying, and I don't want to have this get too far off track, because I agree with you in terms of being able to look at what we're going to fund and everything, but that's really our conversation for our next meeting. I think for right now, if we have specific questions, that kind of thing, to try to be able to make our decisions at our next meeting, I think that would be what we would want to focus on here. If we want to advocate for one thing or the other that's going to be a change in how we fund it, I think we would want to save that for our next meeting and just keep this focused on information gathering for right now.
fair enough?
Can I at least just respond to a little bit of what you just said?
Sure.
While I understand that you're saying that the contract's been broken.
Get close to the mic there, Devin.
While I understand that you're saying the contract has been broken on our end, based on our meetings with our PD, it has also been broken vice versa to accommodate the city and the overflow of dogs that are being picked up. So we are exceeding numbers dictated in the MOU to try to accommodate. We are adding freestanding kennels to put dogs in. We are taking them across the state to get them adopted out. We are going out of our way to do everything we can to open up those spaces. We are also looking into what we can do to try to establish a facility that is much larger, that can accommodate more dogs. However, we are doing what we can with the dogs in our care currently. So while I understand that five days and they need to get out of the city's kennels or RPD's kennels, if there's not a hole for them to go into, where do they go if we can't get them transported into a foster, which we have, I believe, 22 dogs currently in foster homes. We are begging for fosters daily, so we aren't just asking for the city to subsidize our situation. We are going out of our way with monthly fundraisers. We are asking everybody to help us generate funds so that we can do what we can to get these animals out and create the space for RPD to be able to bring the dogs in.
All right.
Just real quick. I'm not downplaying at all what you guys are doing. I'm not saying that that the contract has been broken on both ends, if that's how you want to look at it. But what I'm saying is wholeheartedly that either the city of Riverton has outgrown your guys' ability to accommodate us, or we need to put more funding into it in order to make it operate correctly. Because we can't have broken contracts on both ends and expect us both to operate smoothly.
I agree with you.
That's what I am saying, okay? I'm not saying you've done anything wrong. I'm not saying we've done anything wrong. I'm saying that the totality of what we have going on and the number of animals that we're seeing
Is larger.
the math isn't mathin' as far as Councilman Bailey brought up, okay? If we're only going to be allowed animals that you have space for, then we should do pay to play as well. $105 or whatever the county's being charged on top of that. But I just don't see the math working the way it's been presented. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much for being here. We could sit here all night and try to figure this out with every single detail, and it's complicated. And I think we all know that. I wanted to hit a couple of high points because I want the community as well as PAWS to know the city's contribution is more than just cash. And I want to make sure that the community knows that. And I am well aware that we have issues in terms of, that's a good point. You're saying it's one thing to say we need to have 4 or 5 kennels available for city dogs. But you're saying if those are getting through that and we don't have space for them, where are we going to put them? So that makes sense. I hear what you're saying, and we'll have to talk about that further in terms of what that's going to look like down the road. Do we have any other questions in terms of funding right now that we can take care of without this turning into hours? Not anything against what anybody's doing. I mean, honestly, there's been some really good things that have been hit and some good highlights, and it's good to be able to have that. But
Can I just address something for Mr. Bailey's question?
please.
When you're looking at those numbers, were you given the spreadsheet of all the animals that were brought in and
There
the
we have it.
cost?
I don't know, I did not go through every page.
No, I'm not saying go through. I would just urge you to look at the difference between, on average, about $200 to $250 for regular care, spay, neuters, things like that, versus the other ones that are much higher because they needed emergency care or care like on that route. But also, how many of them say zero for how much we've tried our best to keep that cost as low as possible? As far as the sheriff goes, we do not get emergencies from them, so that would play into their number as well.
Right.
I just wanted to make that clear on,
And again, I'm just crunching the numbers
Yes.
I had sitting in front of me. So
Yes.
I don't know if everything's included in both sides.
okay.
But to me, it comes down to what does per animal per day it cost you to house those animals?
Right.
Is a number that would be valuable to me,
Okay.
okay? And that would have to include everything you do divided by how many animals times how many days they're there times the whole pile.
Right. So I was actually trying to get that number for you before we got all this submitted. However, I spent months cleaning up files in the computer from previous management.
Okay.
And so now, hopefully now, as of this year, April 1st, for our fiscal year, I should be able to pull those numbers for next year to be able to have those because I can actually pull a daily average versus however many animals have been in the system for the last 6 years that nobody accounted for.
Okay.
So
That'd be
hopefully by
helpful.
next year I can get that number for you. I was really trying for this one.
And to me, it would be valuable to know what is the, like, average stay per animal? Is it 10
Right.
days, 15, 90, 180?
Right.
I don't know.
Also, what I was trying to figure out, but the way our system was working, if I move them to foster, they're still in the building. So I cleaned all that up. So now as of April 1st this year, we should be okay to move forward to pull those types of numbers next year.
Okay.
And I'll have that ready for you next year for sure.
I want to float an idea past you, and I don't want you to tell me what you think about it now, because everybody's going to react with horror, and that's okay. But as far as I'm concerned, there's an easy solution to this, and that is after 5 days, if you don't have space, they get euthanized. And I know that sucks, and I know that you advertised yourselves as a no-kill shelter, and that's part of the whole point of your program. But it's also the whole point of a city that we have to be ensuring that these animals aren't just released or anything like that. And so I'm just telling you that as we're talking about solutions, and we're trying to figure out what can we do, that's a reality that we have to deal with.
Correct. And to answer that solution, I've been faced with it a number of times. We all have. You will no longer have a staff at PAWS. They will quit immediately. Riverton will become the only town in Wyoming to euthanize for space. Then we have that problem.
But, and I know, and that's just the point.
It's hard. It's tricky. It's
the balance on it is really just what's hard. And we don't want to sit there and say, oh, you know, to try to save money or whatever, we're going to do that. But the point is, when we have an obligation, that animals don't run loose in our town. And that's our obligation.
correct.
Nobody else has that but this council and this staff. And so when we have that obligation, it's like whatever else we do, that obligation is first and foremost. So if we're in a situation where we're bringing animals to somewhere and there's no space for those animals, and there's no space for those animals because we had animals that were brought there before, they went into the general population, and now we don't have the space. I just don't know what else to do. And nobody likes it, and you're saying there's not going to be staff. That's the way it is, and I don't want to turn this into a long discussion about it, but I just want to say that in terms of where we have to be looking and what this can look like, that's kind of one of the realities we need to be thinking about.
It is a solution.
Right.
It is a.
It's not delicate.
No, I didn't say that. It's a solution. I didn't put.
But it could be at the direction of the city and as the responsibility of the city council, because we are a no-kill shelter. We are a separate entity, and our entity will not do that.
Sure. And that's just exactly it. So if we had a situation where, because of the way we're contracting things, you would have 5 kennels, 4 kennels, whatever it is that's available for the city. They're not PAWS kennels, they're city kennels. I mean, I'm just saying what we could have this do going forward. Those city kennels, if there's no PAWS kennels available, and those city kennels, they get to the end of their time, I don't know. I'm just saying this is nobody likes it. I have 2 dogs. I have a cat. I got one of my dogs from you guys. He's the greatest dog of all time, and I love him. And I dread the fact that he's 14 years old and he's going to die one day. And I'm going to tell you.
Are you?
What? Yeah, I know. And he was a foster to adopt. He's a great dog. And I see dogs out on the reservation, and I'm like, there's your cousin, Scout, because they're all running around out there. So I don't want that as a solution. But when I'm looking at what we have as a statutory obligation as a city to be able to ensure the health care and welfare of our community, I can't just sit there and say, it's okay for my animal control officer to go to PAWS, and you guys say, we don't have space for your dog, and then we just kind of have to scramble around and figure it out. It's not a blame thing with PAWS. I'm not trying to say you guys are the worst because of this, but because of that obligation, it puts us in an untenable position. So being able to figure out what that can look like where you can maintain the idea of this is a no-kill shelter and not lose all of your staff, I don't know. So we need to talk about what that could look like, and it's just, it sucks, and nobody wants it, but it is what it is, and we're going to have to figure out what we do.
Right, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's, PAWS needs your help as much as the city needs PAWS help. Somewhere in the middle, we've got to match up. You know, not only to help PAWS, not only to help city, but also to help critters, all of the critters that we can. It's, I don't, PAWS is always ready to be able to negotiate that, talk about that, to have that ability for us somehow to meet in the middle. And it is, I don't even mean to say we're trying to meet in the middle because we can't get along with each other. We just have this problem that none of us can get a grip on. Yeah. I can't say that, well, the city keeps running around finding all these animals. It's not the city's problem. It's not our problem that we have all these animals and we're trying to figure out where to ship them and get them to.
And you certainly spay and neuter them, trying to solve the problem.
We do, and then, still 5 more pop up. You know, it's not, I've never, for as long as I've been on PAWS, that we've been sitting here, I've never once thought that it's PAWS against the city, PAWS against RPD. We pride ourselves in having the ability to work together, work with RPD. I think both of us have come to the point in time that we need your help you need our help. And I'm not sure what that middle looks like, but we've got to do something. Yes, Mayor, I'm in agreement with you. I drive down the road, there's critters running all over. And it's unfortunate for them. It's unfortunate to the critters that they have owners that didn't really care for them. It's troubling. It's heartbreaking. Some of the things that we see down there is horrible.
Yeah.
It just is.
I apologize. I will not take up much time, Your Honor. I just wanted to say, we are a unique community. Riverton is. We are on a reservation. Okay. And so we may, be the only community that decides to euthanize in Wyoming. But if we look at numbers comparatively to the other communities, and I know we haven't done that, but if we do, maybe that's the important thing to do, is to look at our numbers compared to other communities and make that decision if we need to make that decision and not feel bad about it, because, or maybe feel bad about it, but still make that decision because we, sometimes comparing ourselves to other communities, I know we do that, but Riverton is a unique community, and we have to remember that, we have to understand that, and we have to act accordingly. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is just a troubling, I love you. Going to have it with me now.
You do great.
It's very troubling to me that we're considering euthanization. I know it was just brought up. What's the city going to do when PAWS steps away and says, we're not euthanizing these dogs? What is the cost to the city then?
Well, and I think that's the point, and that's what Lonnie's saying. And so my point isn't so much saying that PAWS needs to be involved in that at all. I don't think that would make sense one bit. To say, we're going to bring you a dog, and if you don't have space for the dog, we want you to euthanize the dog. Heck no. You do not have the staff to do that. You guys have some of the greatest hearts of anybody I have ever met. And so I would certainly never say that we're going to put PAWS in that situation. All I'm saying is we've got to be able to get a handle on it. And PAWS as an organization has goals. They want to maintain their status as no-kill shelter, and I certainly support you in that. 310%. 315 on a good day. But we also have an issue in terms of what we need to do to ensure that we actually have space for these animals, because we can't have our animal control officer coming over there with them. You don't have space for them, and then what? She's supposed to just stick them in her truck for a couple of days. That doesn't work. So I'm just saying, as we continue to talk, I think that you're exactly right, Lonnie. There's some different ways we can kind of reach some agreements. And here I am, and I'm asking Councilwoman Johnson to try to keep it to the money. And I brought it completely out, and I apologize. And you can call me a hypocrite.
Hypocrite. Anyway. No, here's just a thought, and this just came to me.
It was nice meeting you.
Go ahead.
Here's a thought. Our Riverton Youth Council would like to work on a project, I think, that is truly
Transformative?
something that they can be proud of.
Yeah.
And something that they can claim a little bit of ownership to. I'll wait until Councilman Larson is listen. Maybe tasking Youth Council with finding a solution to this problem could be helpful, utilizing the resources that we have at our fingertips, if PAWS is willing to work with us on that. Maybe reaching out to Job Corps students, seeing if they could build maybe like a 10 or 12 space heated emergency placement kennels aside of the PAWS building. Looking at kids that need to be doing community service, whatever the case may be. Let them work through the ideas of how to solve a true issue like this, how to come up with funding when there is very little or no funding. But that's going to require the help of PAWS too, and to be open to those solutions and work with youth council in order to do that.
Okay.
I like that.
So,
A suggestion, I don't like the idea of euthanization. Is it necessary at times? I believe it is. Nobody wants to. I'm a dog lover. I don't want to see them euthanized. But I also don't want to see us fail as leadership, not providing to the community what's expected of us through ordinances that's been adhered to. I know you said keep it to funding, and that's what I'm doing. Let's task youth council with finding funding to emergency placement for animals and help them out. The problem that I see with that is, and I have to be fully transparent on that, more kennels means more cost.
correct.
You're still going to have it. If you're funded partially this year, next year you can't come back and ask for 90,000 because now we have 10 additional kennels to take care of. It's just what you're going to have to do. That's your business model. It's how you run. You have to manage those funds on top of what we're providing you. But I think that that is a solution to the issue, at least something to consider.
The youth council, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lonnie.
The youth council, that's the high school group, right? Yeah. As a college professor, I'd be more than willing to sit down with them and work through this. That's not a problem whatsoever. I think it would be nice on PAWS to gain some insight of some younger people. All the service industries are dying a slow death because no one's getting any younger people in there. So I would be more than willing to sit down and do that. As far as space at the shelter, we have space. It's not enclosed and it's not heated. And we've worked with that over this last winter, prior coming into this winter, I did with the chief and Mr. Butterfield, that we could take on more. But the problem that got scary was if we took more and then suddenly it's below 20 below, now we're really stuck. So I think if we increased that, it helped. We could get it bigger. It was heated. Yes, you are correct. We increased by 10. We're going to have an increase on funding, but I think it would also help PAWS if this became a city, just a line item that says 75,000. Then we know every year this is what we're operating on, and anything above that relies on PAWS.
Right. All right. This is the one thing that we could be here all night. We all know it. And actually, we've had some really good ideas and some good insight. And frankly, even like the Job Corps being able to expand what we have in terms of heated space is a good idea. And they'd probably like doing that. So.
Or in concrete, there's all kinds of construction opportunities there for them to learn.
I know we're not really taking action tonight, but I think we should think about in the future looking at creating some kind of task force, for lack of a better term, to sort of kick around some of these things that we've been talking about and come down to some, try to get to some real solutions that could solve some of these problems, so.
You know what?
And we can't finish that tonight.
No. And I think that, even if we just had some really good work done by the FCAG task force, this is a regional issue. This is not just a Riverton issue.
It's not just Riverton, yeah.
It's Riverton, it's the county, it's Lander. So being able to think and figure out some ideas, I think having somebody that actually sits down, and that's an assignment we've given them, is incredible. So these are all good.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard an idea that I think sounds really good too, is maybe this is a true partnership. Out of all of the applicants tonight, PAWS is a true partnership with the city. We depend on them to take care of these stray animals. It's a health issue. So maybe we should look at making this a line item in the budget rather than them having to come every year to beg for more money.
Well, then they know what they're getting.
Absolutely.
It's not something that's going to be adjusted or changed or modified. It's much the same as what we just dealt with from the legislature, where we were able to say, hey, we don't have to go every year and ask for direct distribution funds anymore. So, good discussion.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
One question. We've been kicking this can down the road for the last 10 years. Well, actually, 13. And, you know, things change. Ideas change. Costs increase. The idea that we're responsible to harbor and to keep and to take care of, maybe that idea is, I mean, how many people are watching certain movies? They're not. Things change, things move on. And we need to think about different ways of solving the problem instead of just kicking the idea down and maybe next year it'll be better.
Well, I think that's kind of the idea of even a task force that's specifically tasked with that. Mr. Butterfield, let's put on our next agenda. I'd like to give us a week here for everybody to kind of give some thoughts as to what this could look like. We don't want to, again, we could be sitting here spending hours, but at least what I'm thinking about is being able to walk away from this budget year and say, next year we're actually going to have some actionable ideas. Rather than just saying, kind of like Councilman Larson said, kicking the can down the road, we've been doing that enough. Let's get some ideas figured out. And I think a task force model would be a great way to do that. That was you, Councilwoman Brothers, or was it you, Councilman?
But yeah.
Look at this, genius. But I mean, kind of started with Councilwoman Johnson saying, hey, maybe we could have the youth council do it. So let's kind of look at some ideas and what this could look like. The point is, though, I really want PAWS to walk away, even though I'm talking about this idea of euthanasia or whatever. I value what you're doing. I believe in it. I think it's important, and I certainly want to celebrate life and the animals that we have in our community. I'm just saying I don't know how to be able to balance that against the obligation to make sure that we don't have a ton of stray animals running around that bite people. I mean, we've had animal attacks a lot lately. I have not called animal control about 6 or 7 times within the last couple of months when I've seen a stray dog. Why haven't I? Because I'm afraid they're going to come, they're going to pick up the animal, going to be brought to PAWS, and then what the heck are we going to do about it? And I know there's other citizens that do the same thing, and I don't want that to be the response. So let's figure it out.
Your Honor, I've received messages from people who are actually upset because they've been told that they're not getting the animal picked up, and they're concerned about their child's welfare. So it is a problem, and it needs to be resolved.
I agree.
So, okay, I think Operation Stop Kicking the Can Down the Road is in full force, and we'll get it figured out. Okay?
One quick statement, I agree with Councilman Johnson, that we are dealing with a building that has outlived its capacity. It was built 21, 22 years ago, and we need to start considering maybe bigger, better options. And like you said, getting those school kids involved in the Job Corps, all of that. We need to get more space.
Well, and I think if PAWS really wants to get more space, here's what you need to do. This is my brilliant idea number 2. You guys need to be getting ice for all of the hockey guys, and then we would probably let you use their space. That's really big.
We're looking into options. We have been, but
For ice or for...
yeah, definitely for ice. No, to get more space, and we're just playing around with the ideas and what we could do and what we could manage. But it is I do want to agree that is a lot of our problem.
Yeah.
And it's 20 years in the making.
And honestly, it might be that the idea of what we're talking about in terms of being able to kind of have our animals be intermixed with a lot of what you've got going on with PAWS, kind of like Councilman Larson said, maybe that's outlived its usefulness too. I don't know. But I think a task force being able to kind of say, what are alternatives is the way to go.
It'd be good to explore, then we would know. But we start involving youth community, the youth in the community, other people with this task force, then it starts to become even more pride and ownership. Especially into Riverton, pride and ownership of living here, helping.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry that we went so far over, and I am so sorry that I am about the most hypocritical person.
Thank you for hearing us.
I wouldn't say that either.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, Willow Creek. I gave you the opportunity to be up here earlier.
I didn't know what I was getting myself in.
I know. That's what I kind of
I have a little index card with some notes on it.
Came prepared.
By the way, when we got the whole packet, and we got a little bit of an explanation about this, that it's so frustrating, and I've gotten emails from Fremont County School District 25, and because of your whole system and everything, it just comes in with no, explanation. And
Right. My email was kind of
Right.
turned away, and we were on spring break at the time, so I couldn't, I wasn't there to answer.
Yeah. But
By that.
tell us what your proposal is, and I guess what I would say is, do we have an electronic version of this? I didn't ever see it.
Oh, of the form I filled out?
Yeah, Your Honor, I've sent out a revised council packet,
Well, the one that I got, okay.
and it's available on our website also.
Perfect.
Thank
Carry
you.
on. Please tell us who you are, because
Okay.
I don't think most of us have met.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for letting me represent my school. My name is Erin LeBeau. I have been a paraprofessional at Willow Creek Elementary for about 3 years now. I'm working on getting my teaching degree because I love working with kids so much. I love my job. So we wanted to go ahead and propose for our school to get a outdoor learning space, a little garden, a school garden. So the idea is nowadays students spend so much time of their learning on computers, and that is coming from national and state mandates. All the testing, all the assessments that need to be done. Kids are inside on computers for so much of their school experience. And there's so many things that our teachers and staff do to try to offset that, so many creative ways. And we have a wonderful staff. We have such high standards on academics and our student well-being. We're trying so hard, but one little thing I think our school is missing is a little outdoor space where kids can just be outside. This would be different from our playground. Thankfully, elementary gets a few breaks in their day to go out and be on the playground at recess, but that's blacktop and pavement and man-made equipment. And seeing little opportunities for kids to get outside and get their hands in the dirt and see where their food comes from a little bit, just start to get an idea of that. You just see kids light up when they get the chance. A lot of them are not exposed to that. So I got an opportunity in February to take part in Kindness Day, where our staff organizes our kiddos to go out into the community and do acts of service for their community. And the one I got to help host was a group of our kids going out to a little spot that we have set aside for that at our school. It was set aside a few years ago, and then because of funding, we never got to do anything with it. So it's just lied dormant for a few years. So we put them on clearing out the weeds, digging into it, cleaning up the space just to get it prepared for something like this. So to see kids that have never done that before, hauling sticks around and digging stuff up was really neat to see them come alive, to be exposed to something new like that. So this little modest request for our school. I think it's just one more thing that we're doing to help our youngest citizens be exposed to different things and be ready to go out into the world and be productive citizens.
Have you spoken at all to the rec board?
Mary at our rec was the one I originally kind of got the idea to do this from. She's wonderful. Not this specifically. Is that what you mean by the rec board?
No, and this would totally. be the
I'm new
daily
to
rec.
Riverton, so I
That's
don't
okay.
know all the ins and outs of it.
Welcome to Riverton.
Thank you.
We have in Riverton a lot of different organizations that a lot of people don't have any idea what the heck they do. So here's what I will tell you. Fremont County School District 25 has funding that they have specifically that comes through the mill levy that they are able to get from voters here that's earmarked for recreation.
Okay.
Part of that, they also have a portion of it that's specifically for beautification.
Okay.
And I will say, when I was on the board, I don't think we hardly spent a dime of the beautification funds just because nobody came in with proposals. And then they just recently had a large recipient who did not end up receiving about to the tune of $120,000 that was not obligated. Is that right?
Yeah, so Your Honor, Willow Creek did come and ask and receive funds for their new playground. Now, I'm not sure which.
This is completely separate.
Yeah, I know.
I took the initiative
I know
on this
it's
myself.
separate.
This was about 3 years ago.
And No, this is this year.
Okay.
This year, and I'm not sure which fund it was. I don't know if it was the beautification. I don't know which one it was. I don't think it was. So, and the other part of this is we just passed a thing that says we won't take any new requests after, like,
April or something.
no, it was like after the January whatever, so we're not taking any new proposals, yeah.
Okay.
That's in the bylaws now. So you have to hit them up on that January, request. But I will say, this is perfect for it, and I think everyone would love that, on that board. So you're right,
But it would not be until January.
but
Until next January. Okay. So I'll be honest, that's what I really thought that I was applying for, because I heard when I had a conversation a few years ago with Mary from RREC, she put that bug in my ear. We were talking about a community mural at the time. So that's where I heard about that. And when I typed it into Google, beautification grant for City of Riverton, this is what came up, maybe because time-wise, that's what was closest to when I was looking into it. So.
Well, and don't think this isn't a great proposal. It's just, I mean, you've sat here through most of this. This tends to be things that are, we've sat here through all of this. This tends to be things that are, it started as, these are things that we have to do as the city if nobody else does them. And so that's kind of where we started with PAWS as one of our main recipients. And then it turned into, our rec had their funding sorted out, and then that didn't work out anymore, so then we took on our rec, and that's been 2009 or something, before any of us were on here. So it's a little bit of a unique thing, and I've actually been trying to figure out a way that we can actually specifically say, this is what the funds are used for, this is the kinds of things that are eligible.
Okay.
I'm not saying that this isn't. I mean, as was indicated previously, nothing about this is like, Ben, you have to meet this, that, or the other criteria to be funded. But just was a thought.
Okay.
So,
Just because I have a worthless computer and I didn't see it, what was the amount requested?
I was requesting $2,500. It would get us some raised beds and fill those with dirt, and some stools for our kids to, like stackable stools, to go out there like a classroom at a time and just kind of have some outdoor learning space to just sit and outside, pretty much.
How many raised beds are you looking to get?
I was pricing things out at Tractor Supply, and it was about $100 a piece for a galvanized, kind of a galvanized tub. So I was thinking about 4 of those, just something to start with.
if you want a wooden raised bed that looks very nice, I have a friend that sells them.
I was going to say,
Oh,
there's
okay,
somebody in town that does those.
And it's a fair,
and they're
it's a fair
beautiful.
price.
It's a great price, and they're beautiful.
We would love to support, local
Yeah.
business with.
I'll have to get it, I'll get their contact.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Other than PAWS, for the most part, we were just getting requests tonight. So we'll have another meeting here in the future, and we'll kind of visit about how it'll all look. But definitely would encourage you to keep in mind the rec board. I will say the way that they work out, rather than getting the funds up front, you expend the funds and then you get reimbursed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, not that I'm saying you have $2,500 sitting around that you would expend and then get reimbursed, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank you. Thanks so much.
appreciate it. All right, we've been here for 3 hours, but we've gotten some good work done, actually. I feel like we've had some good things answered and some good discussion. So, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Borders, second by Councilman Carr. Any other discussion? Oh, why did I say Carr? Oh, I heard him second too. Councilwoman Carr.
He was out there.
We all second.
Everybody's ready.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. We're adjourned at 9:05.
9:05.
Could I get you some gas there? Would you be?
I did a good job sticking with it.
Anyway, didn't you?
I did. I couldn't help it. I was sitting there and I was like, just in terms of a process that could work that we were 9 about. Because
We kind of, all three of us have similar ideas for kind of what we want to do. Yeah.
We'll have something.
And I do like the idea, honestly, so I was talking to Kyle about this, and I was like, first off, if we're gonna have a rec department, I said this to you, and I don't know if you're here, but.
Actually, no, I'm going to finish with that.
If we're gonna have rec, we need to actually have it done with some sort of governance.
Motivation, last minute.
And so,
That's what you were saying.